From cold cases to serial killers, missing persons, and more.
100% he did this.
I'd go off in the fantasy world.
How much more lucky can you get that you're not on death row?
You want to know what we know.
My name is Jay. This is Guilty of Crime.
Hello, everybody. Can everybody hear me? All right, let's get more people in the house. Everybody, I'm not sure, but I think that there's a little issue with StreamYard today. It said so, but hello, everybody. So Wade Wilson, we're covering today. Can everybody hear me? I'm assuming so. I have Bree in the background that's going to help us today. And I hope this chat gets packed because this is a big case. And let's say hi to everybody, but I want you to know there's a documentary coming out, and you probably already heard that. But the documentary is crazy because, you know, we do news here, we do facts, and part of the facts are there's a documentary, and we have a whole bunch of things that are coming out. What's up, Melly? Beautiful Melly. Carrie, as always. We got the Joker. We got Avis. We got Paul in the house. The chat's going a little fast. I mean, it's getting packed. Sweetie Brookahire, Melly, my dog found a new friend. Yay! MM Clar, what's up? Jay, I've been so depressed today. You are just what I need to get me out of this funk. I love you, and I love you back. Don't worry, you're not the only one. We all have a little bit of something going on a Monday, and my hair looks a little funny today. I don't know what's up with my hair. It's a little out of whack, but it's the mohawk going on. Anyway, I'm going to ask you in the beginning, everybody, help me support my live stream. Anything helps. Hit the like button helps. I don't want to ask people to, use their money that they don't have. I am going to start streaming on X. And it's supposed to stream on X today, and it said I don't have a Premiere account, which is really weird because I paid for it today. So very interesting. I'm going to have to check that out after the stream. I literally just paid them their membership fee, and for some reason they're saying no. But I'm here with you all. I guess I can figure that out later on. Really weird that they make me pay, and then they shoot me down, folks. They shoot me down. All right, so today, Wade Wilson. That's so weird. A premium account on X is required. Bree, maybe you can help me after this because I did do that, and now it's not letting me go live. So, anyways, thank you all the mods for being here. If you notice my background, I typed in Florida backgrounds, and Wade Wilson could be out there in Florida having a good time. Instead, he's out. Well, he was out beating and killing women. So what I want to report on today to all of you, Jay, maybe it's pending. It may be pending. I was hoping to stream that today to get it kicked off. Web Weaver, what's up? Like I said, everybody hit that like button. Let's get me in the algorithm. I've been doing Wade Wilson for a while, and I noticed that the big channels are covering it, and they don't even have half the information we do. So today we're talking about Wade's ex-girlfriend. We actually talked to Wade's ex-girlfriend. I'm going to read them some questions in a bit. And also I have Bree, according to Bree today, which you guys always love. But right now I'm going to show you something really cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. If you didn't know, there's people actually filing for a petition to prevent Wade from the death penalty. They've got 6,809 signatures out of 7,500, folks. And they show some of the top supporters here. I'm assuming most are female. We're going to talk about that today. Look at that. Christy, Lakita, Nessa, Nita, Madison. All these. Oh, there's a guy in here, Jacob. Anyhow, isn't that interesting? And he's got more than one petition, everybody. So on top of Wade Wilson doing his murderous spree, there's a third person that he's thought to have also murdered. We're going to talk about that. We talked to Kelly, his ex-girlfriend that I'm going to show you in a bit. He has an ex-girlfriend before Mila that is talking to us on Twitter. She also, or not Twitter. Sorry, I have Twitter on the mind. She's talking to on, what is it? Instagram. So I have answers for that. Yeah, that freaking judge, man. They sent it to the judge. He is so heartless. We're going to talk about all the things that I didn't even realize he did today. It's crazy. It's crazy, all the things and people trying to get him off. What's up, Twisted Kill? Everybody. Kristen Davis, you guys are great. You guys got me past that 15,000 mark this weekend. Jay is going to show you everything. Yeah, I've got the deets. So I wanted to show you the change.org. I'm going to show you that Wade's filing for either a petition to get, this is to prevent the death penalty through change.org, but he wants it either to get thrown out, which is ridiculous, or to have a new trial or get off death row, whatever it is. Yeah, that's what he wants. So I don't even understand how that can be possible. He is not safe to be out there. He is a murderer, folks. He's a murderer, and he's an you know what I'm going to say, an arpist. All right. What's up, Liv Wade? I have some new people in the house today, and I hope that you guys go and make sure you subscribe, hit that like button. So I'm going to show you a clip, and then I'm going to go to the paperwork real quick. I'll just show you the end result here. So take that off, change.org. Don't sign that petition. We don't want that petition. We're going to start from this, and we're going to show you how dangerous he is just in this quick clip of Mila saying, I was going to die that day. Now, Mila's an ex-girlfriend of Wade Wilson, but we have another ex-girlfriend, and she's been talking to us. So we'll tell you what that's all about.
When you got there, did you get out and try to talk to him?
Yes.
And again, what were you trying to talk to him about?
I went to the driver's side window. He wrote it down. I said, where are my keys? Where's my car? He was calm and just saying, get in the car. And it escalated quickly.
Did you agree to get in the car?
No.
And when you would not agree to get in the car, how did he act?
Violent, aggressive, tried to pull me in the car physically. And I resisted, got plank style so that he could not grab me into the vehicle.
When you say you got plank style, could you just show the jurors what you mean by that?
And I was being pulled into the car by my dress.
Okay, so for the record, you just stood up and put your hands straight above your head.
Yes, so that I was not being able to be budged into the vehicle.
All right. So this lady, Mila, should have stopped from the get-go. Absolutely, Carrie. He was arrested over 20 times in Florida, and he got a slap on the wrist. And we're going to talk about that because what we're talking about with that is he even has an ex before this where he didn't get in trouble whatsoever. And he ended up on the murder spree. Women are writing this guy in prison in hopes for him to, I don't know what they want from him, but let me just tell you what he did, what his charges are. We'll go over his new ridiculous motion. And it's just, he's a dangerous man. Jumpsuit Pablo has been covering him quite a bit, and a lot of people have been emailing me, but folks, it's a lot of clickbait. I like Jumpsuit Pablo, but I try to watch that. I try to watch it. What's up, DC Slide, Jay and crew? Lynette, what's up? And MM, I hope you're having a better day now. He's Jungle Mom. He's a complete repeat offender, and I don't see the attractive. I don't get that either. He gives me the creeps. And you know what, folks? Remember when we were watching the trial? Do you remember when everyone was checking out his package? Well, according to Kelly, she says he has a tiny package. So just so you know, if anyone thought, oh, what a handsome guy he might have been if he wasn't a killer. Well, if you don't care if it's small, I hear it's small. So just saying, I normally don't say things like that, but that's what she said. So Bree will come on in a bit. So I wanted to just tell you that he filed for this motion, defendant's motion for judgment of acquittal for a new trial. All right. So he comes now. Defendant Wade Wilson, undersigned counsel, respectfully moves honorable court pursuant to arrest judgment, grant a judgment of acquittal, or grant a new trial. As grounds, therefore, would follow as Wade Wilson was charged with 2 indictments, 2 counts of first-degree murder in violation of Florida statute, grand theft of a motor vehicle, battery, burglary of a dwelling, and first-degree petty theft. Both murders occurred on October 7th, 2019. Now, remember, we're in 2024, folks. So when you remember that we're in 2024 and how long it takes to get to trial, I want you to remember that for all my folks that are on here, for Jennifer Soto being arrested and Stephen Stern's trial. It takes a while. Now, we just hit 111. My hair is crazy today. It's one of those crazy hair days. We hit 111, so please say a prayer for these victims and any other ones. Say a prayer for Kelly. Kelly is we're gonna show her in a bit and talk about his ex-girlfriend before Mila and what he did to her. Paul, I think we're talking about string bean. Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you. Let's say prayers. We have 114 people in chat. Please hit that like button. I promise you're going to want to go back and watch this episode after the documentary comes out, because you're getting the real information and you're getting a bit of, well, the behind the scenes with the girlfriends. A little bit of drama, but that's how it goes when you have a bunch of ex-girlfriends. So he did all these things: second-degree murder, grand theft of motor vehicle. Remember, he stole the Hellcat that he couldn't drive, and then he stole the next car, which I believe was Kristine Melton's car. Defendant was found guilty on all charges on June 3rd. So we're now waiting for the next Spencer hearing, which is going to solidify the death penalty. After a 2-day death penalty hearing on June 24th and 25th, the same jury recommended death to the court on both murder charges, 9-3 and 10-2 recommendations. Sentencing is scheduled for July 23rd, 2024 at 1 p.m. The court errand is applying in Florida, statute 921, whatever that is, 141, legal jargon, effective April 20th. I don't quite understand why they're doing another what the Spencer hearing is for, but I'm also not from Florida. All right. So the jury recommends 9-3, 10-12. They wanted to put him to death, and they're trying to get out of it. That's what's happening. So mark your calendars if you want to see him again. Clar, how do I up my membership? Mods, can you help? So if you go to the join button, I was going to ask you all to up your memberships as well. It'll be helpful to get me on X and all the other things I want to do. So upgrade your membership. Clar is in chat. Bree put it here. You just go there and you go to the Secret Crime Crew live tier, and you'll get exclusive content more than you think. You guys get a lot. All right. So the Spencer hearing is mandatory in Florida. It's basically their last chance to change a judge's mind in sentencing. That means he's probably going to speak. Thank you, Carrie, for letting us know. Now we're going to get into Wade's ex-girlfriend, and he bit her face. Her ex-girlfriend describes the attack. His ex-girlfriend's name is Kelly, and this is who we're talking about. After I introduce her and what he did to her, then I'm going to bring Bree on. We're going to bring her TikTok up, and we're going to talk about her. And we're going to talk about all that. Actually, I should show you these quickly before I do that. Let's finish the legal stuff, and then I will bring that on. I just want to show you. I mean, this is legal, but it's the heinous crimes that he's doing, and it's going to be all the things that you're going to get behind the scenes in the documentary. That's what they're going to be talking about in the documentary, is Wade Wilson, all his girls, all the people writing him, etc., etc. It's pretty crazy. If I do say so myself, I don't quite understand it. I don't understand what the hype is about that guy, especially how evil he is, folks. All right. So Wade Wilson His attorney seeks a new trial. Let's just watch this clip real quick rather than hearing me say it.
New tonight, Wade Wilson wants a new trial after a Lee County jury convicted him of killing 2 women in Cape Coral. His lawyer just filed a request for the new trial. They also said the new law that allows a jury to recommend the death penalty without unanimous decision should not apply to him since it was passed after Wilson committed the murders. Last month, 10 of the 12 jurors recommended death for Diane Ruiz's murder and 9 for the killing of Kristine Melton. A judge will have the final say and is expected to announce his sentence on the 23rd.
All right, so that's going to be on the 23rd. And you know what? It doesn't even matter, Cheyenne. I don't trust anything Salty X says about his manhood, but he's not a man. Let's be real. This guy has done some damage. We're going to see that he bit he bit Kelly's face, and he did some gruesome things. And every girlfriend he's essayed brutally. So yeah, I do agree with that, what you're saying, but it doesn't even matter. I'd rather people think that than to be trying to write him like they do. That is absolutely ludicrous that people are trying to get with this man. And Jumpsuit Pablo has a lot of stuff on his channel about it, which I was going to play some of it, but most of it didn't even say what it was supposed to say. So it was really weird. Really, really weird. All right. Let's do this. So his ex-girlfriend is definitely not staying silent, but I'm going to play this one first, and then we'll get into all that. There's actually quite a bit today. Now that the documentary is coming out, I thought this was going to be over. Yeah, Toothless Jokers, Sinister Misfit. I thought Wade Wilson was going to go bye-bye, and we were just going to be like, oh, okay. And I do love Jumpsuit Pablo too. I've been watching all of his stuff. However, when I get deep into it, I start hearing Techbird, love Jumpsuit Pablo. I'm waiting to hear that Wade Wilson got beat down. I heard that he got beat down and there's gang members after him. And then when I watched the video, none of that really happened. It happened a while ago and we're not really sure. But yeah, he's awesome. I think he shouted out guilty of crime the other day, according to Carrie. So I think that with my Madeline Soto case, a lot of people know my channel, and that's cool. That's cool. I can't watch a video and then wait for it and it never comes. So today we're talking about the request for a new trial. We're talking about Wade Wilson biting his ex-girlfriend's face and more. And then she's also talking to us. We'd like to get her on the channel and tell us and answer questions, tell what happened. Fire Opal says, even without the crazy tats, he's giving off major creep vibes. And you know what? He's more than a creep, but yes, you're right. The handsome meat suit in the disguise shows who he really is. How could anyone find that attractive? Right, hot mess. Absolutely. And Mary Ann says, Richard Ramirez had women following him. Ted Bundy, some sick women out there. I agree. And if you're offended by me saying sick women, I don't even want you to follow my channel. Please don't follow my channel if you want to talk to Wade Wilson and get in his small pants. All right. Clark, I just want to up my membership to support you. Thank you. Thank you. I love you too. I appreciate you. And I'm here because I exist because of you all. So thank you so much. All right. Let's yeah. Yeah, I always like to make you guys laugh, but this is not funny, and this is who we're talking to, Kelly. So while I'm playing this, Bree, I'm going to grab that TikTok, and then we'll start showing that after, and we'll talk.
Where one of the women who says that the convicted murderer, Wade Wilson, attacked her, is now speaking out. Last week, a jury recommended to a judge that Wilson be sentenced to death after the same jury convicted him of murdering 2 women, Kristine Melton and Diane Ruiz. Those women were found dead back in 2019 after being strangled by Wilson. This is all according to the prosecution.
And can I tell you something also? The first responders didn't react to it in a very good way. It was bad. One of them, he made her what he called look like spaghetti folks. And when you're a first responder, like let's say Chris Watts, the first responders, when they saw the kids, one of the first responders retired. So yeah, Lynette says, I did the same thing, broke up with a few channels and upgraded. Well, thank you so much. I'm not going to let you down. We'll talk when we do. I always make sure it's your choice what we're doing. I put polls up so we can make sure that you guys get what you want out of my channel. I want to make sure I'm giving you the coverage that you need. Faith and Repentance said Wade didn't get tattoos after the crimes. It shows no remorse. He would do it again. I believe he would do it again. When I hear the Jumpsuit Pablo stuff and the way he talks to his jailmate, I did download some of that so we can listen to it. If you all are here and you stay with me and we get the house packed, I'll play more and I'll talk more about it. But we do have some pretty juicy stuff today, folks. I mean, we're talking to Kelly here, and Kelly, you're going to see right now.
Scripps News' Kate Coral spoke with a woman who claims that she was attacked by Wilson shortly before these murders took place. Take a listen.
Convicted Cape Coral murderer Wade Wilson will soon find out if he will go to prison for life or be put to death. I'm Fox 4 senior reporter Caitlin Knapp, and I dug into his background after the state attorney made an interesting comment to me about Wilson. The comment led me to track down Wilson's ex-girlfriend, who believes the murders could have been avoided if Palm Beach County deputies arrested Wilson for her reported crime.
We've heard from many women who have been victimized by the defendant, but maybe didn't go forward on charges or for whatever reason didn't find justice in the justice system.
That's what sparked the story after weeks of covering Wilson's trial and death penalty recommendation. Kelly Matthews dated Wilson and was interviewed by our West Palm Beach station shortly after he was named a person of interest in October 2019.
All right, and I have another interview. I'm going to pull up her Instagram or TikTok, whatever it is, probably TikTok, because that's what everybody uses. And Paul, you're right. They're reviewing my ex account. All right, everybody, what's going on? Let's get hyped up in this house. Come on, it's Monday. And, well, it's Monday. That's about all I can say. And MM Clark, thank you. You make me smile by saying that. All your beautiful comments that make me happy. Because, you know, people give me good comments and they give me bad comments. It's interesting. Even when my dog passed, folks, somebody had the nerve to come on my page and tell me, hey, that looks like my dog. And it went missing 13 years ago. What area are you from? So it's obviously a troll, but I was very upset about my dog passing away after 15 years. And someone had the nerve to come and say that to me. That really makes me upset, but I can't let it because I have all of you folks to make me smile. So hello, everybody. Just Kristine, just coming in. You didn't miss anything. We're talking to this lady, Kelly. We have questions. She has answers. And we watch Wade Wilson, what he did to her, and we'll talk about it.
He
kidnapped me and almost killed me.
And most recently, Matthews has been vocal on TikTok.
I dated this man. I don't want to be quiet about this.
Quiet about what she claims Wilson did to her in Palm Beach County. Matthews met Wilson in 2018 online, calling him charismatic and polite. She said things changed when he started reportedly using drugs.
It was just like a very toxic relationship, but he was never violent, ever.
Until February 18th, 2019, she claims. Matthews says Wilson agreed to go to a rehab in the Keys, but Matthews said that wasn't true, and they got into an argument.
And so I got back in the car and put my seatbelt on, and that's when he started choking me.
She says Wilson then cut off her clothes and eventually put her in the back of her car. Matthews says he sexually assaulted her, tied and gagged her.
At some point, he had bit my face.
She says he drove them to the Keys and Wilson got out and left. Matthews says she drove home.
I should have stopped at like a gas station or something, but I think I thought no one would believe me.
She and her mom called police. Matthews says she went to the hospital where they did a sexual assault kit and took photos of her injuries. In a police report I obtained from the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office, it says they interviewed Wilson, who did not admit to any assault. The report says Matthews did have bruising on her neck and a cut to her lip, but they did not arrest Wilson.
He was like, no, that like this is hearsay. Like you don't have any.
They straight up didn't arrest him for that. And then he went after that and assaulted, brutally essayed Mila, and then murdered the other two women right after another. He is very dangerous, Avis. Very dangerous. This is one of the most dangerous men that I've seen. The other men that are dangerous, well, they're a little bit different. They're not as charming as women say, and et cetera, et cetera. I mean, this guy should never be out. And I think I hope they keep him on death row. If that never happens, hey, if he never gets executed, but he's dangerous and he's the devil. Well, I was going to say in disguise, but he's just the devil. All right, I'm trying to look for that. Still looking for the TikTok, Bree. You sent me a lot of links after that, so I'm having trouble finding it, but let's watch. This is Kelly, who we're talking to now.
probable cause.
He, as in the detective who also put in the report, there are no witnesses to the alleged crime and no evidence to establish probable cause. Do you feel like the system has failed you?
Absolutely.
I reached out to the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office asking why they did not arrest Wilson despite visible injuries.
I don't understand how someone can do something so severe to somebody else and not even get detained for it.
About 8 months later, Wilson was in Cape Coral and killed Kristine Melton and Diane Ruiz. Matthew sees his conviction and death penalty recommendation as some sort of justice.
I feel like this is good for everyone that he's hurt.
Matthew says she wants to talk about what happened for her own sake and for other domestic violence cases.
I want people to know that they can leave, like get help.
As for Wilson, he's in jail, waiting to see if judge will agree to the jury's recommendation and sentence him to death.
We're a strong group of people.
We're going to get into some Dr. Grande after. I want you to see what he says about him. He smiled the entire time. Bree, if you could send me like 2 or 3 TikToks, and I'm not finding Kelly's TikTok because I have all kinds of other ones. I have one from some guy, JD Delay, and then I have some other ones. Can you send me the Kelly one again, please? And thank you. All right. Yeah, this guy's dangerous, and we're going to do some of that also.
That he didn't beat, and unfortunately it took 2 women dying for him to get noticed. You didn't win, and you're going to get what you deserve.
As of Monday evening, the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office says that they are currently working on my request. Matthew says she wants to file a lawsuit against the Sheriff's Office for the outcome of her case. Again, Wilson will be sentenced on July 23rd, and I will be in that courtroom to bring you the decision. In studio, Caitlin Knapp, Fox 4.
Thanks to Caitlin Knapp for that report. Such a difficult one. Let's bring back in Marie Pereira and Matthew Mangino. Matthew, something was missed here, clearly.
Yeah, and remember, folks, this is in Cape Coral, Cape Coral, Florida. Paul, you're in here. That's where Paul's daughter, Lauren Lowe, went missing. We don't think it was Wade at all, but I'm just saying it was in the same town in Florida. And Melly's all over the place. We love Melly. Hopefully Halloween we could meet up at Universal Studios. Patricia Ross, he's trying to hide behind his tattoos. I believe so. When we listen to some Jumpsuit Pablo, you'll see kind of what he talks about. There's so many videos. Everybody's jumping on the Wade Wilson bandwagon. When I first started covering it, there wasn't a lot of content on it. I found some old stuff, and now because of his tattoos, he's getting all this attention, and it's really weird. What's up, Princess Mish? Hello, Sadie's mama. I hope you're good today. Yes. We should all meet up at Universal Studios, folks, for Halloween. No one says how embarrassing. It's sad, but some mental issues are amplified or come out when people experiment with drugs. Yeah. All right, let's finish this one so we can get to Kelly. And I found the Kelly interview. I think that's what you sent me, Bree.
You never want to see a situation where someone may have been stopped before, but unfortunately, we've seen this before.
Well, yeah, I mean, every investigation is different. You're dealing with different police officers. You're dealing with different circumstances. It's hard, and especially in a domestic violence situation at times, to distinguish exactly, what had occurred there. But certainly this case, screams out for some intervention by the police, whether or not, there's some concern about exactly what the circumstances are. This is a vulnerable person who had obvious bruising, had a plausible story about how this occurred, felt threatened by the situation, and yet was left without any police intervention, was left without, any prosecution of her abuser. And, that certainly is a concern. And I'm sure that's something that's going to be reviewed to determine whether or not, policies, procedures need to be updated or need to be amended.
Absolutely, it should be. And Marie, we heard her say that she was told.
And I don't know if any of you followed the Jumpsuit Pablo slew of interviews lately or what have you. They're not really interviews per se, but there's another guy that wants to be like Wade Wilson and loves him. Not like that, but they both got the Joker tattoos, which is an absolute joke in my opinion. So maybe that's the one I'll show you. I don't think he looks scary. I think he looks silly. And I think when somebody gets a hold of him, they probably are going to do something with him. Now, I wanted to answer somebody about Traconis speaking from jail, but I have no idea. Yeah, he's a piece of work. He's terrible. Wait until you hear some of the things. And what's up, Adam? Yeah, jumpsuit. We'll hear the real deal soon on that one.
Oh, it's hearsay. There's no witnesses. This is a domestic violence case. I know that's a part of your specialty. One of your focus areas is these domestic violence cases and victim support. I mean, just the process of going through a sexual assault kit can re-victimize people when they go through it. But she did all the steps that we tell people to do when they are in this situation. What needs to change?
I agree with Matt that this is going to be reviewed and heads will have to roll, because at the end of the day, the woman was attacked. She was allegedly attacked by him. She didn't go to the police at the scene of that crime, but she went, when she got home, she went to the hospital. They did a rape kit. She outcried to her mother and she knew him. It wasn't plausible that it wasn't him. So they just went to ask him, did you do this? And he said no. And because of that, they said there's no probable cause. That makes no sense to me whatsoever. It was a sexual assault. He kidnapped her. He took her against her will, and whether or not they knew each other shouldn't have anything to do with it. Whether or not there was a slight delay in the reporting shouldn't have anything to do with it. And I think I'm glad that this reporter brought this out, because whoever investigated this and failed to even bring it to the DA to look at the case, to file a complaint, to bring it to the grand jury is probable cause, not beyond a reasonable doubt. There was enough there for them to bring this man, at least on the minimal level, to some accounting for what he did. Somebody's going to have to pay for what happened here.
The woman in this story, she was not involved in this trial, but there was another person who was part of the indictment. She was assaulted by the defendant. She was his ex-girlfriend as well. He approached her first in this spree that he did. Let's go and listen to Melissa Montanez on the stand during this trial.
When you arrived at Mila's spa.
So just to put it in perspective, folks, I love this lawyer too, Lauren. If you don't know, Kelly is the girlfriend before Mila. And Wade Wilson didn't have all those tattoos that whole time, and he acted really charming. A lot of women still think he's handsome, and I do not appreciate victim blaming ever. I saw some comments here and there on my page saying, I can't believe that she would date somebody like that. No victim blaming for anyone. She dated him because he charmed her, obviously, and then he brutally essayed her, etc. Thank you, good Tara. Great channel, new subscriber. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hopefully you get a membership soon or gifted a membership. All right, we're going to watch this, and then we're going to get into Kelly and what she has to say. We have a lot today. Remember, there's a documentary coming out, and we're going to know a lot of things before the documentary comes out, because I have a feeling the documentary is going to focus a lot on, well, more the things that we're talking about today than anything. Yeah, Patricia Ross, I agree. He's disgusting. Let's listen to Mila, and then we're going to go straight to Kelly. And we're going to have Bree fill us in on some things about the whole situation. And then Kelly spoke with us, and I'm going to tell you what she said. All right. And we want to get her on our show. That's our goal. So everybody show love for Kelly when I bring her on for a TikTok interview. Show some love in the comments so we can get her on our channel. None of these women was their fault.
Did you see your Hellcat?
No.
Did you see a different car?
Yes. I went to the driver's side window. He wrote it down. I said, where are my keys? Where's my car? He was calm and just saying, get in the car, get in the car. And it escalated quickly.
Did you agree to get in the car?
No.
And when you would not agree to get in the car, how did he act?
Violent, aggressive, tried to pull me in the car physically. And I resisted, got plank style so that he could not grab me into the vehicle. I'm trying to reason with him, trying to talk to him, but there's nobody behind those eyes anymore. I was trying anything that I could to expand the amount of time that I didn't have to go to his car where I'd probably never be seen again.
The next step in this case for Wade Wilson, that jury already recommended death. There will be what's called a Spencer hearing in Florida for the judge to listen to any final arguments and then make a final decision. Matthew, do you expect anything less than death, even though there are some questions about the death?
And before we answer that question from them, do any of you think he's actually going to say anything? Do you think he's going to stand up and say, I was using a lot of drugs at the time and et cetera, have an apology. Because from what I hear behind the scenes, he's in prison just bragging about this and really just a piece of work. He's really happy about what he did. I have no respect for this woman. She's fierce. Oh, I have so much respect for, I'm sorry, I read that right. Me too. She's very fierce. Small pants, love the talk. Right. What's up? Nope, he's a coward. Nope, I don't think he's going to speak at all. Me either. And if he does, he's just going to lie through those teeth that he doesn't have. All right. Yeah, I heard this too, Lynette, but I'm not so sure. And when we bring Bree on, he did get beat up by 3 people. But the question is, when did that happen?
Death penalty and how it is handled in Florida, especially when this jury did not have to be unanimous, is my understanding, even though the law hadn't changed when this crime occurred.
Well, right, Julia, Florida, frankly, their death penalty procedure is maybe the worst in the country. Number one, you only have to have 8 out of 12 jurors vote for death in order to have a recommendation of a death sentence. That's the lowest threshold anywhere in the country by far. Okay, they've had problems with the fact that they let judges decide factual issues in death penalty cases. The Supreme Court struck that down, and there's definitely a basis to challenge any death penalty. Certainly one in which there's a 9-3 for the death penalty or a 10-2. This case is going to be reviewed by the Supreme Court, and one of these cases out of Florida might be the final case where the Supreme Court says you need to have unanimous jury verdicts for death. It doesn't exist right now, and Florida has the worst policy in the country.
It's certainly under review by higher courts, and prosecutors are concerned about what the outcome will be.
All right. I'm not that concerned. If they start bringing in other information to the judge, maybe let's say like jail calls or anything else, if they have anybody come on, and I don't know how the Spencer hearing works, but if they do have people come on, they're going to show right away how much of a piece of shit he is. All right, so we have this lady on. This is Kelly, his ex, and I'm going to bring Bree on. Bree up. Do you want to?
All
All right, so this is Kelly.
We are going to answer some questions.
So she's going to answer some questions, and then we have questions for her that she's going to answer with us. And then we want to show her love to bring her on the show. Bree, can you tell us a little bit about this and what we are talking about today? I don't know if Bree's here, if she walked away for a minute or what, but that is Kelly. You want me to play this first, Bree, or are you ready? I see you unmuted there. All right. I don't know where Bree went, but Bree has some info. And what do you think, Bree? Should we play this one and then hop on the questions? Or what do you got? You have some information for us. All right. Well, she's not here yet. So let's listen to this. She's talking about Wade Wilson. There's a lot of things about Wade Wilson, folks, that, it doesn't really matter in the scheme of things. Yeah, thanks for being brave, Kelly. Please come talk to us. Right. And she has been emailing with us back and forth, which is fantastic. All right, Bree says I can play it. I'll go ahead and play this. And then we had some questions for her. She answered. She connected with Bree, which is really cool. It's good that we have such a good team. So let's listen to her. She is very brave, and I'd love to hear what she has to say, but you're going to hear a lot more information that we didn't hear.
That I have gotten on my videos of my ex-boyfriend, Wade. We'll just get like the thirst trap crap out of the way. This is what he looked like when we met. Obviously, he's a very attractive man. Nobody is doubting that. This is also him. There you go. This is your thirst trap. Get that in. No tattoos on his face. His hair was grown out. I did not see a swastika on his head. If I did, I probably wouldn't have dated him because I am not racist. Anyway, thirst trap out of the way. Yes, he was a very attractive man. He still kind of is, but knowing what he did makes him very unattractive to me, obviously not to some of you, and that's fine. But you're not going to change him. Writing him in prison, he's just going to get money out of you. And that's, you know, if that's your kink, whatever, I don't care. So when we first got together, he was completely normal. He did not do drugs. He was living in a halfway house unbeknownst to me. I didn't know that for like a couple months. And then he was like, oh yeah, like I was in a halfway house because my dad said I needed to be in one.
And you know, while she's on here, it's easy for me to go back and forth so you can see who it is. Patricia says, by the way, Jay, you're looking fantastic. Hope all is well. Well, thank you. All is well. It's Monday, you know, it's a Monday. So I don't find him attractive at all. I don't see how they can think that at all. And she does seem awesome. So I'll talk about it now. And then if Bree wants to come on after and tell us some of the things, Jumpsuit Pablo tells us some of the things, but I do have more and better information. I want to go over, Dr. G explains, how this, well, in my opinion, he's a psychopath. The people who find him attractive, yeah, the same people hanging out with your abuser. It's very interesting. So Kelly is talking, she's conversing with us on TikTok, and we asked her when she met Wade, and it was in 2018. So folks, these crimes happened in 2019, and I'm guessing that Mila happened right after. I'll put myself back up. So I feel like I can't, like you guys can't see me, and it's weird. All right. Yeah, bad boy. So she met him in 2018. Everything happened in 2019. And it's 2024, and he just got convicted. So let's hope the Spencer hearing, say a prayer that the Spencer hearing goes right and that they keep him on death row. I don't know if you're for the death penalty or not, but I'd like him to be by himself 23 hours a day. He seems like one of those people that needs to have attention at all times, and he won't get that. So, all right, let me tell you a little bit more. So, you know where she met Wade? She met Wade on Plenty of Fish. Isn't that interesting? She met Wade on Plenty of Fish, and there's nothing wrong with Plenty of Fish, but I want to tell you guys now, be careful. Please be careful, because you get somebody like that we just saw before with his shirt off, looking like a bad boy, looking handsome. I don't think he is because he's so evil, but Plenty of Fish a lot of people use, and it scares me when my friends use that app. Please be careful. That's where he was probably meeting lots of people, and it was in 2018. Also, while I'm at it, hit that like button, folks. I want to thank you all. I got a bunch of cash apps and super chats and things like that last time. You guys helped me out tremendously for all of my things that I need to pay for. So thank you so much. Anything and everything helps. Upgrading your membership, hitting the like, super chat, super stickers, all the above. It all helps. And if I don't ask, well, I won't receive. So thank you. All right. So she met him on Plenty of Fish in 2018. How long did they date for? They dated from September 18th to February 19th, 2019. Right? September. So not even a full year. I believe September, November. Yeah. September to February 2019. They had a break in between when she went to Texas. And then we asked her if he had a temper or any anger issues while they were dating. She said he literally didn't show any anger issues at first, but after a few months, he did start, but never did anything crazy. Now, remember, this is the girl that got bit by him. Let's listen to more.
I was like, oh, okay, that's fine.
Thank you, Adam.
So we moved in together. He moved into my house in Lake Worth, Florida, and we lived together for about 5 or 6 months. And for most of that time, everything was fine. We went on dates. He met my family. He met my friends. We went to Universal together. We would go shopping. Like nothing out of the ordinary happened at all. And
so again, be careful, folks, for all of you that are out there dating, all that. Jay, do I need to be pulled from backstage? No, why? I don't even know why you asked that. What's the matter? Anyway, No, you don't need to be. Are you not coming on? Bree was supposed to come on, but I don't know if she's going to. And she asked if she needed to be pulled. I don't know. I don't know what happened, but we're going to listen to some more. She talks about going to Universal. They were doing normal things. I do not have a bird. I don't know what y'all are hearing. I think that's her bird on there. I have no idea. Bree is not muted right now, so maybe that's hers. You are still backstage, Bree, but are you coming on in a bit or what? I'm confused. Oh, I got to add you. That's the problem. Okay. All right. So you're with audio. Can you talk for a bit, Bree? You're here.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. All
I
right.
do not
So
have a bird. That is her. She had a parrot that passed away, and she has a lot of animals. So that would be from her TikTok. You're hearing the bird. That's not me.
okay. So Bree is here, and our section with Bree is according to Bree. Kelly has a bird. Bree has been conversing with her, and tell us about some things that you know.
So, yeah, as you saw from the questions that I had, asked her, I was curious, how they met and everything. And, I've met people from Plenty of Fish, but like you said, be very, very careful because there's some pretty interesting people on there. I was surprised that they didn't date for very long. But she said, he's very charming. He seems very sweet. It's just when the drugs seem to the drugs change him completely to a different person. Um, and then I also learned, some details about he's being bombarded. Lee County Sheriff's Department's talking about how he's getting thousands of emails from women a day. He's received from June 12th until a couple days ago on Friday, he had received about 3,900 emails.
Can you
Then they
believe
hit
that, folks?
yeah.
After they know this, Brie, after they know this, and in between that, I'll just tell them that, I mean, she said that he was very charming until he did what he did. So there was zero bad vibes. He was like, let's go out on dates. Let's do these big things. I'm handsome and I'm tall. And then there's what, go back to you, Brie, but that's
Yeah, like,
amazing.
she said that he didn't give off any bad vibes, he just seemed very sweet, very charming. It's just, his attitude just kinda changed when drugs were involved, but that didn't happen until later on in the relationship, so they did normal stuff like plan day trips and would, take drives, and, there's so much for them to do in Florida, so she thought he was a great guy, and then, when everything started to happen and he basically essayed her and everything. I feel so bad because when she discusses what happened to her, it's like the statute of limitations is not up. Why are they not reinvestigating it? The officer who did the case really dropped the ball on it. Evidence is missing, like pictures, but they still have the paperwork. And she's being very vocal about it, and
Yeah.
not turning down interviews, wanting her story to
That's
be heard.
why. That's why she wants to come on here so we can get a good segment. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, so
We just
she
have
wants
to.
everyone to know that, if they would have listened to her when she went to the police, it may have prevented him from further reoffending if they would have listened to her and took her seriously.
Right.
And they sadly they
Absolutely.
didn't. And it's and then you see all these, when looking on TikTok, I am just blown away by all these women that are just there's a girl that is like so obsessed and she's openly like got her whole TikTok page is dedicated to him. She went to court every single day, sat right behind him and is like head over
Yeah.
heels and everyone's like
Y'all
talking and
remember
like
that?
they're all
Yeah, I think
posting to her
everybody
saying like,
does
"You don't
remember
think
that.
he's messaging other girls and emailing and writing letters in jail to other women? You think he's, just messaging you? There's no way."
You know, it's funny, Brie. At the end of this, I have a TikTok fan cam for Wade Wilson with some girls that are on there talking
Oh
about that they can
boy.
fix him. So this is going to be a crazy show today, and you guys are going to get a glimpse into what I think the documentary is going to look like, as well as we're going to talk about his reaction and his behavior and what it really means. But yeah, Brie, I mean, it's really cool that she vibed with Kelly. You guys all show some love for Bree and for Kelly. I think you guys have some things in common with video games and such. Is that right?
Yeah, she's a gamer. She loves animals. She's a very outdoorsy person. She's very strong, for being what she, for going through what she went through with him and having, obviously people don't, there's some people that don't say anything because they're afraid they're not going to be believed. But she's going out and
She's
still
vocal,
she's
right?
being vocal because she wants to be heard and wants them to, wants to see if something can come of this. And she's trying to just give interviews and just make it known and trying to tell other people, if you were victimized by him, come forward and speak. It's not too late. Don't just hide because
Right.
he's in jail. Come forward.
And
Statute of
we're all for
limitations,
that.
depending on when
Yep.
it happened, you can still do something.
Now, let me say happy birthday to Lori Burton. I missed that earlier, but Lori Burton, it's your birthday. I know you're a Cancer. My birthday's in 10 days. So I want to wish Lori Burton a very happy birthday. It means a lot to me when people wish me a happy birthday. So I hope it means a lot to you as well. Bree, you want to wish her a happy birthday?
Happy
Can you see that?
birthday.
Yeah, if I could sing, I'd sing to you, Lori. Uh, all right, let's play a little bit more of this. And if you just want to stay on here and then you'll think of
Yeah,
things maybe
this
as we
interview,
go.
she shows the diagram of where the marks were on her, and she shows her paperwork and everything in it. In this, I believe this is the interview where she shows all of that on her TikTok, where she kind of moves
Yeah,
out of the
because
way and shows everything.
I have a
If
3-minute
not,
clip
I
of
think I
that.
emailed it to her or to you.
Okay. I have one too. I think this is the one, but we'll get to all that. And just a couple more of the things she said is that how she described their relationship in a couple words. She said it was a really bad roller coaster. And I'm assuming towards the end. I'm sure in the beginning he was charming. Bree also asked her thoughts on his sentence since he just received, the death penalty. I guess it's probably going to stick, I hope. And she says she thinks he deserves a death penalty, and that's the only way the world will be safe without him. Otherwise, he will keep manipulating women. He's doing it now, and from death row. I don't know how that's going to work, but having how many letters did you say, Bree?
I think the article here says here he got 3,900 messages from fans.
That's
And then
insane.
and that's just from when he got sentenced. They said that from June 12th that he's received the technical number is 3,903. And then they said that he's accepted 279 connection requests, so he's responded to 279 of them. There's been 754 photos that have been sent with those emails. 163 had to be rejected due to inappropriate behavior in the pictures or inappropriate nature. So basically you can just sign up and, email this guy and he gets access to a tablet every day, and you buy credits, or you can snail mail him, with, normal
That's
paper and stamps, and he gets it. They
I would
obviously
like
read
to do that
everything.
though. We talked about that. I would actually like to have Bree. I was going to put up a poll, but if you guys want Bree to say, I would love to get a message from him. I've always wanted to write serial killers or write people and find out how they work, kind of like the Chris Watts letters. So if you guys want Bree to write him and get to know deeper and see what he says and us read that letter here, put a 1 in chat, because I'd like to do that further. I'd like to make this
I
channel
would
even deeper.
totally do that.
So
I
put a 1
totally
in
send
chat
him
if you
letters
guys are
just to see if
interested.
I get a response from him, just to, just for the sake of, for the channel, just write him a letter and see if I can get a response from him. I think it would be so cool.
Well, there's a lot of people saying yes, and I've been interested in doing that for years to find out how these people work and to report back to you all. Yeah, you can do that. You can write to serial killers, you can write to, and sometimes they open up to you and tell you things that just because they feel that need to. And I'd be open to do it. So everybody's pretty much saying yes, and we know he's all bullshit, but you never know.
Yeah.
You could get some things out of him, like with the Watts letters. There was more that came out, and kudos to I can't remember her name right off the hand, but Cheryl and something or other. Someone says 2 teeth were knocked out when he fought with Mila. Right, his teeth are all Yeah, I don't even understand that. But all right, last question from her. And this was very last minute. So thank you if you're watching, and we'll send the video. Thank you, Kelly. You're brave and you're doing an amazing job. I hope that we can get this out there and make a difference, and that maybe they'll pick up the case without the statue, and or maybe she can go and speak or send a letter to the judge. I don't know, but we're here for you, Kelly, if you need anything. The last question we asked her, and we would like you to come on the channel, by the way. You already know that because we've been talking. Do you think that women Wade was charged for were his first killing? She says, I don't think so. I think he's killed or severely hurt someone when we were together. So that being said, I believe so too. When Wade Wilson talks, folks, not Wade Wilson, when Jumpsuit Pablo talks about Wade Wilson brags about a lot of different things that he did to women. And I don't know if it's for bragging rights or what. Where's the body cam footage?
He has
What do you
been
want the body
saying
cam?
He has been
Footage
saying
of
that
what?
he's a hitman in jail and that he was a hitman, and that's been,
does.
his exes are saying that that's not true, that he was not. He was saying that before
right.
he got arrested and everything, that he was a hired hitman. That's where he got a lot of his money from, and
Right.
they're all saying no, that's not true. So I think he's just
So
doing that for bragging rights while he's incarcerated.
what body cam footage are you guys talking about? I don't know that there's body cam footage of him in the car. I can find while we're playing this, but I'm not sure what you're referring to. That we played in another episode. Someone also says that's what I heard. You have to earn tats. No, you don't earn tattoos from a gang at all. All you have to do is pay them with Cheetos or a brick of
ramen.
Top ramen. Yeah, some top ramen, and there you go. Ta-da. Graciela, happy birthday. July Cancers, me, dreamy Pisces. I am a July Leo. So there you go. Yeah, he's watching TV too. Did he have all the tattoos then? No, he did not. He got tattooed all over his face when he was in jail. And I'm going to show you this after, because some other little scrawny dude did the same tattoos because they like him so much. Somebody asked
The
me a
guy
question
who
earlier.
actually did the tattoo, the same Joker style tattoo, actually was a
I'm gonna-
cellmate one cell over.
I'm going to show you that. Yeah, they had a bromance. And I
Yeah.
heard that he was having sexual affairs with men, with the guy from, the reality TV star. They talked about him being with him. And I think that guy is gay too. So it's not anything bad or new, but you know what I'm talking about, Bree? Did you watch that?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the name of the show. It's at the tip of my tongue.
It's that outdoor, I don't know, it's that reality show
It's
that
like the guy with the anchor tattoo
yeah,
where
I'm
Wade's
looking at it right now.
swastika. Yeah. But he
I was
did
actually
have
gonna
his
play it.
throat tattoo. He did have some tattoos, just none on his face. He had his throat tattoo, and a lot of his tattoos were concealed on his chest. If you see
Right.
pictures before jail,
Flaming
all the
Cheeto
face
tattoos.
tattoos were after getting arrested.
Yeah, he's a big ol' I don't even want to call him a pussy, because that would be a nice thing. So Graciela says Jay Leo's my favorite, steamy and funny as fathers and mothers of the zodiac. Right. Yes, Leos, man. If you can handle me, well, you're a good person. All right, let's listen to her a little bit more. And I have that video I am going to play. It's only 8 minutes, and it says murdered for a TV show star. That's clickbait. But we talk about a third person that he possibly took out, and then they show this little weird guy that got the same tattoos as him. So now we're doing Wade Wilson, kind of getting into what I believe the documentary is going to be like. All right.
Then I noticed that he was doing cocaine, and I was like, huh, that's, a party drug. I don't do drugs at all. Some people have commented, like, how does it feel to be clean and sober? I have never done drugs. I've smoked marijuana twice and had full panic attacks. I don't do drugs. It's not my thing. I have a career. I have a life. Whatever, if you do drugs, that's your own thing. So he started doing coke, and then I started finding weird stuff around, and I actually took pictures of it and posted it on Reddit. And I was like, hi, hello, what is this? I know nothing about drugs. And they were like, oh yeah, that's like a makeshift crack pipe. He does crack. So that was weird. We got in a lot of fights about that, but nothing was ever physical, ever. The only time he ever got physical, and not with me, I had taken his backpack in the bathroom to see if there was drugs in it. He kicked my door in, and I got mad and I threw a table at him, like a whole ass kitchen table. But he never hit me ever until that night. So I did not. There were no really red flags till the end.
Now she's gonna show that what he did to her. This is a pretty big girl. I saw pictures of them. He's 6 foot, what they say 6 or 7, and she's pretty tall with him. She's pretty tall, and she's like a just a big girl. So I'm smaller. I barely made it to 5 feet almost, and she's must be on the taller, like maybe even close to 6 feet. So it's interesting how he just knocked her around the way he did. And man, I hope she got a couple of good punches in there. All right, we're going to see this. So trigger warning for anybody that has had domestic violence or domestic abuse against them, because he did some things to her, and there's some pictures that aren't pretty.
My family and friends started to notice towards the end also. He started like cutting me off from them. And
of course he
did steal from me. He and my friend at the time ran away together, went to Texas. Like, just, I came home and all my stuff was gone. They ran away to Texas together. He stole my gun. I contacted the police. Police didn't do anything.
Oh,
and I was like, cool, this guy stole my gun. Like, that's actually kind of a big deal. But I guess cops in Florida kind of suck. So I forgave him after that because I'm dumb. And as many of you have pointed
you're
out,
not.
I'm a 3 and he's a 10 or whatever. So yeah, I was dumb and I was like, this guy's hot and I'll do anything to keep him around.
Let's comment on that, folks, for Kelly. Kelly's beautiful. I've seen her like this. I prefer no makeup. When women wear makeup, they look pretty and everything, but every time I see a woman without their makeup, I always think they look prettier without it. So I think she's beautiful. I've seen her with it, without makeup, and with it, and she's beautiful. I don't know who's been telling her what, but yeah, just Kelly, if you see this, you're beautiful. I don't know where Wade Wilson is not a 10. He's on the -10 side, and he's evil AF, folks. So I like everyone talking about Scorpio signs and Sagittarius. You guys are great. Hit that like button, please, while we're at it. All right. I just had to stop because Kelly's beautiful, and I hate when people get that in their head. Someone tells them something like that, and then they think of themselves that way. Not good.
Unfortunately, that's what I did. He cheated on me a lot with a lot of different women. I caught him. He denied it. I had cameras. He denied it. Like, there's so much stuff looking back. I'm like, girl, you are so dumb. I don't know. He is a master manipulator. That's what he does. That's how he's always lived his life. After he did what he did to me, I called his his adoptive parents. And they were like, yeah, he's done something very similar before. And we took it to court and we won. So we don't really believe you because, the charges were dropped. I can't fight against that. So I never knew about any of his previous victims, assault, nothing until the end, because for the whole of our relationship, his name was Steven, which is his middle name. I did not know his name was Wade until we got mail from his adoptive dad, and it had information on it about his daughter and his real name. And I was like, what is this? And he was like, oh, it's like a friend of mine's daughter. It's not really my daughter, and blah, blah, blah. So that's how I found out his real name, all that stuff. People are saying I should write a book. I don't know how to do that. If anyone wants to reach out to me and help
I can help you.
That's great. People are saying I should sue the police department. I would love to.
Hey, Bree, that's another thing. I can help her write a book. I publish books, right? I can write them, publish them, help her with anything that she needs. I got barcodes. We can do everything. We can do the cover for her and get it published. So let her know that as well.
That's actually a great idea. I forgot all about, didn't
Yeah,
put two and two together. So I can definitely put you guys in touch. Like, I can definitely put that link there and tell her if she wants to write a book that you're the person to go to.
I can help her with everything. If she needs a ghostwriter, I can help her get a ghostwriter, but we can help her from A to Z getting it published. So anybody else too, you guys need books published right here. All right. So anyway, I'm not a book publisher, but I did it for myself, and we've got like 20 books at my company that we've published ourselves. So yeah, know how to do that. All right, so we got some Libras in the house. What's up, Libras, Scorpios? We got all kinds of people. His poor daughter. Yeah, thank you, Gen X. Thank you. I'll take that, especially on a Monday. All right, so Kelly, if you watch this, if you do check out this episode, just hit me up. I'll help you. No problem. All right. And I do have body cam of him in the car. I can play for a minute after, but it's pretty terrible body cam. It's like it's body cam played in court, but it's not. It's like showing it on a screen. Does anybody else have better body cam where it's not playing from the? Has anyone seen that? Anyway, I have it if you guys want to see it after, but yeah, it's not that great. Someone says yes, please, body cam. Yeah, I can play it after. I'm here. I have 172 people here. Keep them coming, folks. Tell your friends to come over here. And yeah, let's get some more people in here and get those likes up. And I'll stay on here as long as you want. All
Can
right.
I just clarify one thing really quick too? Just something that came to
No.
mind.
No.
A lot of
Of
people
course.
saw him doing a hand signal right before he was about to get arrested. After the jury gave him his verdict, he did like this weird hand signal. So I've been doing a lot of digging into it because people are saying, "Oh, it has something to do with a gang, or he's doing this, or it's." Apparently, there was a cop standing right in front of him, and he was moving his fingers in order, like he was signaling, basically saying, "Do I have to get fingerprinted again?" Because the judge had ordered him to get fingerprinted a second time. So he was moving and wiggling his fingers and showing his hand to the officer that was standing in front of him, saying fingerprinting, and the officer shook his head and said, "Yeah," and then he did his little hand signal things to agree that he understood that the cop wanted to do the fingerprinting because he got fingerprinted off to the side of where the judge was the second time. So
it wasn't no gang
it wasn't
signs or anything
anything
like
gang
that.
signs. Some
Okay.
people are saying it was like him doing like some swastika thing, or there was all these different things on Reddit about what it was. It was just
Thank you,
him
Stephanie.
acknowledging he had to get fingerprinted again.
Well, that's good to know because I think he's just a poser and he's not in any gangs. And yeah, I think he's going to lose a few more teeth, the few pieces that he has left in his mouth. All right, let's listen to this. And we got a lot to go today. If you guys want body cam, and we still got to see that smile wiped off his face and a lot of things. So I hope you're buckled up and you're here. All right.
That costs money. If anyone wants to donate to a lawyer or find me a lawyer that'll do it, I would love to. I contacted them the other day to find out what happened with my internal affairs thing that I set up like a year ago when I was looking into it. I found out that the detective Potter, who was in charge of my case, got demoted to road crew, and he was suspended for only 120 hours for misconduct. So I don't know. They told me I need to contact the SIU unit to try to find out if anyone knows where my evidence and my pictures went, anything like that. Police report, everything's gone. I would obviously like to see that. I have photos from the police's personal cameras. I'm going to give you a trigger warning. These are kind of bad. So this is my lip. He busted my lip open.
All right, let me pull this
These
down.
are the ligature marks on my hands. These were pictures of my TV because they sent me a CD. So this is where he like tied me up with garbage bags that were in the back of my car, cut the circulation off my hands. I literally thought my hands were going to fall off. This is the marks from being strangled.
I have that too.
You know, by his hand. This is where he bit me. He bit my chin and my ear. And then this is how he was the rest of the time. He was a very good looking dude. I don't doubt that at all. I mean,
no,
that's how he did what he did. He lured women in, and he's very charismatic and smart. And I do not doubt if people write him in prison, he will have you sending him money and promise that you are the only one, and it's just you and me, and blah blah blah. Girl, it is not just you and him. It is you and every other woman that simps over him. And you know what? If you want to spend all your money on someone that's never going to see the light of day, I don't care. He can't hurt anybody in there anymore. Mentally, maybe, which, you know, whatever. I have been contacted by him in the last year or so. I don't answer phone calls from him. I don't answer emails from him. I want nothing to do with him until it's time to watch him fry, and I will be in the front row with a big old sign saying bye. That's what is my goal. I've had some interviews with news stations. I'm trying to get an interview with Bunny, Jelly Roll's wife, because I saw that she wanted to interview him, and I think it would be better if she talked to a victim. I am still in contact with his ex.
You also want to be interviewed by Guilty of Crime, because we'll give you all the time you need, and we'll help you write a book. Just saying. All right.
That testified against him. She and I text sometimes. And are you here? Are you helping? But like I said, if anyone needs to talk, wants to get out of a relationship like that, please reach out. I am a nice person. I'm not going to judge you. I will do everything I can to help you. And for those of you that want to be mean and say, you're not his type, I don't know what he sees in you, blah, blah, blah. He saw a fragile girl that had money, that was just, you could be used. And it doesn't matter what you look like. I was more attractive back then. I'm a little chunky now, but whatever. He still hits me up. It's not.
I wish people would stop saying that and women would start saying that. Folks, tell your kids every day how beautiful they are. Everything about them's beautiful, so we can stop this whole I don't feel good about myself, so I date people that are abusive, because that's where it stems. It's how you raise your children. And I'm not saying her parents did that or whatever, but you tell your kids no matter what, they're beautiful, they're the best, they could do anything. And you know what? Yeah, she is beautiful. Absolutely. But when you get low self-esteem, you end up dating somebody that's abusive. And luckily, I'm going to say I've never dated anybody abusive or been in any type of abusive relationship. I've been married for almost 2 decades, and I was 25 when I met my wife. So if that says anything, but yes, it starts at home. And just tell your children every single day how smart and beautiful and amazing and great they are. All right, let's finish this. I always want to get that out there. It starts at home.
It's skin deep. It's, he was trying to use me, and somehow I got away, thankfully, and he will suffer for it. And yeah, so if you guys have any more questions, please reach out. I will maybe do a live video.
And we will. We're going to reach out to you. I'm going to show you guys some of the body cam. Whoa, I'm real big on here, huh? How do you guys like my background for Florida? Let me know if you like it. All right, yeah, she's not beautiful. She's not only beautiful, she's got great energy, and she's spreading a positive vibe. The most beautiful people can make themselves ugly. Agreed. And a lot of people that are really good looking, if you have ever studied or taken a class on psychology, for some reason are some of the most insecure people out there are the ones that have good looks, because they don't know how to decipher what people want from them. They don't know what they want from them, and they don't really know that they're beautiful on the outside and the inside. And many people that are beautiful on the outside actually aren't that pretty on the inside. So we need to change that if we can with our own children. Sweetie says, don't forget to tell them you're proud of them. Absolutely. Thank you. What's up, Jen Brick? All right, let's watch this for a minute. It's not very long, and then we'll keep going. We have like I said, we got a lot today. There's going to be a whole documentary on this dang guy. And
Jay,
hopefully
I sent you the second part of that email, or that video, sorry, to your email. She actually did get a hold of her paperwork from the detectives and have she has the diagrams and the reports and everything. So she did do a follow-up TikTok that I just emailed you.
Oh, I'd like to see that, because yeah, I have a video of her, but I didn't like this one. I didn't get to see it that well. Let me I'll play this real quick and then I'll pull it up. So this is body cam, folks, and what I'll do is I'll play this while I'm trying to find that. I'll make myself smaller so you can see it better, since it's kind of crappy. It's on a screen, but you asked for it, I do it. Thanks, sweetie Brookahire. All right, let's watch this real quick and then I'll pull that one up. Watch for the no teeth, folks. And you see my background? That's Florida, baby.
You're waiting on your girlfriend? Oh, okay. That's no problem. No, I got a call. Somebody was sitting in their car and everything like that. So. Oh, okay. She's on her way now. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. L41 to bike 5. DTA? Copy on 1012. I'll explain it to you when my partner gets here, okay? Yeah. How about this morning?
Look at his teeth, folks. He's got a lot of missing teeth.
Say again?
Can you guys say Richard Ramirez for me? Richard Ramirez has those teeth. And everybody, my birthday's this month. It's in 10 days from now. So yes, thank you, Jay. Jay's birthday is July 25th. I am Jay. I probably will come on and stream in the morning on my birthday, and then I'll be out of here. I live in Cape Coral. It's beautiful. Yeah, that's my background. It's a Florida background with the water and the trees. So that's what we see here. Watch out for this Richard Ramirez look-alike with those teeth. Sketchy. Look at the way he didn't roll the window down. Right. All right, let's watch it together. Look at those teeth, guys.
Yeah, I can do that, but I'm just waiting for my partner to get here. Yeah, absolutely. And here's what's going to happen. Is the car running? Shut the car off for me. It's off. I'm going to detain you until I figure out what exactly is going on. Wait, you don't have any trouble for me. Okay? Okay, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I'm going to have you step out of the car, and I'm going to detain you. Not arrest. Detain you right now.
Thank God.
And I can't have any problems. You understand me? All right. What's that? Like, I'm at Joe's Crab Shack in the parking lot. I will. I give you my word.
Oh, sorry.
I have to detain you. By our procedures, I have to detain you. Because of the battery this morning.
I mean, right there, he's hesitant, and that cop knows he doesn't want to get out of the car for a reason. He is really big when he gets out of the car, but yeah, look close and you can see those teeth or lack of.
There wasn't any battery?
Look at that. He is.
I will. No. Just relax. Let me see the keys to the car. Let me see the keys to the car. Keys. Keys. Wait, we're not gonna have any problems. Just give me the keys to the car.
He rolled his window up.
Wait. Just wait till my partner gets here. Now, 4-1, gonna need a couple more units. Don't go anywhere. Hey.
There he goes, folks. He thinks he's going somewhere.
Don't do it. He's in his car. He's attempting to take off. Back up. Yes, please. He's taking off.
There he goes.
Just ran a stop sign going up towards McGregor.
All right, so that's it. Look at his smirk on his face. He's got a smirk on his face almost the entire time. He's definitely gross, and he looks a little scared when he actually does get the death penalty when they say it. And I think he is, otherwise he wouldn't be trying to get out so hard. So pray that they keep him locked up forever. he also attempted an escape before. So if they have him in maximum security and they have him on death row, that would be the best bet for somebody like that has nothing to lose. All right, let's finish the second part of this. It's not that long, but we're going to see what happened to Kelly. In the last one, we couldn't see it that well, but I want to finish this out. All right, let's pull this guy's face down. We're going to see plenty of his facial expressions soon and see what they mean. All right. All right, folks. I have some pretty good episodes this week, so make sure you guys have that notification button on. I've got 3 scheduled, but I have 5 all week long. So just make sure you have it on. Every day is 4 o'clock. All right, let's go. I turn the speed a little faster.
Excuse my face. I'm super tired, but I finally got some of my stuff back from the hospital, and the internal affairs thing that we opened up against the detective that wouldn't do anything in Wade's case against me. And I had initially thought I was like going crazy because there's no way that you have this much evidence. You just don't do anything about it. But looking back and reading this, there was 100%.
There actually is a way. Look at Paul and Lauren. There's so much evidence. I bet they missed a lot of it with that boyfriend / fiance. I'm still really on a mission for justice for Lauren. It's been 4 years. I know that we're not talking about that, but I cannot wait to get that whole story out to you all. And Sweetie, actually, it is Sweetie, right? Sweetie Brookahire contacted the governor. So we're going to tell you about that. Yes, I love you, Jay, with the mad face. I'm glad you're not mad at me.
No doubt that he did what he did, and this cop just didn't care. And he actually got reprimanded for it. And they actually did a report on Fox 4, I think, on the west coast of Florida. So I'm going to show you guys some pictures of the report. You can pause it and read it or whatever, just to prove all this stuff, all these people that don't think that this happened to me. So they also took actual photos, like with a good camera at the hospital. Those photos are gone. I can't find them anywhere. The hospital gave them to the police department, and I can't find them. They can't find them. So I'm pretty sure that the detective in this case probably got rid of them. Who knows? They're gone. So I'm still working on trying to find out where those went. But 1 second, let me show you. So this is proof that I had DNA evidence under my fingernails and from a sexual assault. The detective told me at the time when he got these back that they were inconclusive and that there was no proof of his DNA on me. Obviously there was. This is just showing the findings from his internal affairs, that he was neglectful. You'll have to pause and read it, but he was neglectful. He closed the case without waiting for the DNA to come back, all this other stuff. This
awful, man.
Is all the photos that were taken that we cannot find. These are detailed mappings of my injuries. So this is a bite mark on my face. This one is a bite mark. This is redness and scratches around my neck, a busted lip. This is the bite mark on my face. Bruising and stuff like that. It literally says ligature marks on my wrists and my ankles, and a busted lip and bruised knees and all this other stuff. Literally it says ligature marks and teeth marks, bite marks on my face.
I have a video after that she's talking about on the local Fox news station that shows it a little bit better. It shows all her bite marks and everything like that. So this, I'm not really sure. I think she's just sitting in bed using TikTok, which I appreciate her showing this, but we have a little bit better footage, and now we get to hear it from her. So we'll finish this up and then I'll play that, and then we'll keep going because I have a lot more to show you about Mr. Joker, and he's not going away anytime soon.
How are you going to tell me that there was not enough evidence to at least detain this man? So that just blows my mind, because it's been 4 years. I haven't seen the pictures, and if you've ever been through a severe trauma, you know that sometimes your memory can be messed up. And I was maybe it wasn't as bad as I thought. I knew I had a busted lip, but maybe everything else was kind of in my head. But then looking back, straight up says ligature marks. I was effing tied up, and he bit me on the face and on the ear. I had a bloody nose. I had a super busted lip. They had big cuts on the inside of my mouth. I had handprints and bruises on my neck. And you're going to tell me that this man might have not have done it? In the report, it also says that I might have done it to myself. Yes, I punched myself in the face that hard that I busted my lip wide open. And I bit my own cheek. I don't know if you guys know that you can do that, bite the outside of your cheek. So yeah, I'm trying to raise money to pursue.
All right. So if Kelly has I haven't seen anything, but if she has some kind of like GoFundMe or something that she's doing, let her know, Bree, to flash that up and we'll put that on the page. I could put that on my community page as well. Yeah,
I
the joke is
definitely
on.
will. I haven't heard of one yet, so I will definitely message her and ask her if she has one somewhere.
Yeah, she's talked about it a couple times, saying she's trying to raise money. Yeah, Fire Opal. You'll see more in a minute. I'll show you the clip about that's what I wanted to show you, but she's kind of showing us. It'll be a little bit better. It's graphic, so trigger warning.
A lawyer. I need a lawyer. So I don't know if there's any lawyers on here that want to help me, or if you want to donate to any of the stuff. It's in my bio. I put like Cash App and stuff.
Okay.
But I'm trying to get a lawyer to go after the police department and the cop that is still a cop. They demoted him to road patrol, but he is still a police officer. And this man should not be a police officer. He did not help me. He's probably not helped countless other women and men, who knows? And he just blows it off. Like, they asked, well, why didn't you file it as like a domestic relationship thing? And he's like, oh, well, Wade said they were only together for 4 months. But in another investigation, like earlier, he wrote in his report that we were together for 7 months. And I'm like, make up your mind. You said we were only together for 4 months, and that's why you couldn't consider it like a relationship battery. But
that shouldn't matter. What?
In that other report, you wrote we were together for 7 months. So make up your mind. It just doesn't make any sense. And then at the end of the report, the investigator that was investigating this detective was like, so you found her stalking charge more important than her sexual assault charge? And he was like, no, I didn't. On the same day that he closed my case, after like less than a month, he opened a case against me to Wade for stalking with no evidence whatsoever. So they were like, no, we're going to close that. You can't do that. Like, what in tarnation? So yeah, this has been a really fun roller coaster. Reading these reports has been insane. I'm going to do another live soon, just not tonight or anything, because I'm so effing tired. This is draining. For those that tag Bunny and everything, her and I have spoken. We're trying to figure out what we want to do, if we want to do a podcast or something else. So I'm also trying to get a hold of the family of the 2 women that were killed, because I think they should be in on this lawsuit against the police department, because if they would have done their job, this might have not have happened. These women might still be here. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you have any tips on a lawyer. And
all right, so you can let her know, Bree, that we're here if she needs any, any kind of support to get out, or contact information and whatnot. And of course, we'd like her to come on the channel. I know she says she's really busy and it's hard, but it sounds like she's doing a lot right now behind the scenes. And we really are sorry for all the things that she's gone through. I think she should also try to get some therapy as well. I think that might help her in the meantime, because she might not get that closure that she needs with the police department. I mean, if that's Cape Coral, it sounds like they're not doing a good job, and I'm not sure what they're going to do, but she should work on healing herself. And I think that's going to be a big deal. She seems really stressed out about it. And that was 5 years ago. It's traumatic, and you feel like you're reliving it.
Yeah,
Alright.
she's going through a lot. That's why I tried to, I've been, through abusive relationships myself. So, and I
Right.
went through years of counseling, and it's not cheap for counseling. So I've tried to explain to her, if she needs to set up, some sort of like GoFundMe or something for counseling, I'm sure that
Right.
people would help for her to get counseling. But that's the most important thing. Like you said, like she needs to,
Yeah.
if she needs to talk to someone, like I'm always there to send her messages at night and stuff. And I noticed that she's up pretty late. She probably has trouble sleeping like I do. And so I'm there to lend
Right.
an ear, and we talk about gaming and we talk about stuff just to kind of distract, not talk about the topic. But I will definitely let her know that if she needs, somewhere to come on and,
Okay.
where we can be there for her, let her tell her story, and we can be supportive. And also if
Yeah.
she wants us to share her, her Cash App or whatever it is, if it's going towards, lawyer fees, any type of legal fees or counseling or anything, we'd be willing to share that to help her in any way.
Right. And she also can, Sabrina says, I got my counseling through victims of crime. Sometimes you can get counseling and not have to pay, that $180 an hour. When something like that happens, you can get counseling from the county or whatnot. So, I mean, I think that is important for anybody that's had trauma. If you're not going to get that closure with, it sounds like she's kind of far from it and trying to reach for people and so forth. I don't know how that's going to come about, but her mental health and coming to peace with what happened is the most important thing first. So, all right, let's watch this clip and then we'll move to the next portion of what I want to show you and what's behind Wade Wilson. I got the jumpsuit Pablo thing still, and there's 170 people in chat, folks. You guys it's all lit up. Please hit that like button. There's only 50% of y'all here. All right. I know you're here. Some people forget though, but I'm reminding you. All right, now we'll see some of the stuff.
We'll soon find out.
Trigger warning, because we'll actually see the bite mark on the back of her neck, and you can see that he grabbed her throat, all that.
If he will go to prison for life or be put to death. I'm Fox 4 senior reporter Caitlin Knapp, and I dug into his background after the state attorney made an interesting comment to me about Wilson. The comment led me to track down Wilson's ex-girlfriend, who believes the murders could have been avoided if Palm Beach County deputies arrested Wilson for her reported crime.
All right, so that kicked it all off. Jojo, thank you for the 5 gifted memberships. If you guys need a membership, now's the time to get it. When you interact with the channel, hit the like button, you comment. That's how you win a membership. So a lot of people don't realize that. All you got to do is interact and you'll win a membership. Okay, let's listen to this.
Heard from many women who have been victimized by the defendant, but maybe didn't go forward on charges or for whatever reason didn't find justice in the justice system.
That's what sparked this story after weeks of covering Wilson's trial and death penalty recommendation. Kelly Matthews dated Wilson and was interviewed by our West Palm Beach station shortly after he was named a person of interest in October 2019.
Kidnapped me and almost killed me.
And most recently, Matthews has been vocal on TikTok.
I dated this man.
I don't want to be quiet about this.
Quiet about what she claims Wilson did to her in Palm Beach County. Matthews met Wilson in 2018 online, calling him charismatic and polite. She said things changed when he started reportedly using drugs.
It was just like a very toxic relationship, but he was never violent, ever.
Until February 18th, 2019, she claims. Matthews says Wilson agreed to go to a rehab in the Keys, but Matthews said that wasn't true, and they got into an argument.
And so I got back in the car and put my seatbelt on, and that's when he started choking me.
She says Wilson then cut off her clothes and eventually put her in the back of her car. Matthews says he sexually assaulted her, tied and gagged her.
At some point, he had bit my...
I mean, come on. I don't understand why police officers don't take it seriously like that. That's insane. I mean, he could have taken her life, but I mean, this is 5 years later, and I feel like she's just as traumatized, if not more now, living through this every day. And that's not something anybody should go through. Stephanie got my snacks and caught alive. This is the life. All right. So trigger warning. This is bad. He did damage to her and nothing happened. And he went on to do his murdering spree and assaulting Mila the way he did.
Face.
She says he drove them to the Keys and Wilson got out and left. Matthews says she drove home.
I should have stopped at like a gas station or something, but I think I thought no one would believe me.
She and her mom called police. Matthews says she went to the hospital where they did a sexual assault kit and took photos of her injuries. In a police report I obtained from the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office, it says they interviewed Wilson, who did not admit to any assault. The report says Matthews did have bruising on her neck and a cut to her lip, but they did not arrest Wilson.
He was like, no, this is hearsay. Like, you don't have any probable cause.
He, as in the detective, who also put in the report, there are no witnesses to the alleged crime and no evidence to establish probable cause. Do you feel like the system has failed you?
Absolutely.
I reached out to the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office, asking why they did not arrest Wilson despite visible injuries.
I don't understand how someone can do something so severe to somebody else and not even get detained for it.
About 8 months later, Wilson was in Cape Coral and killed Kristine Melton and Diane Ruiz. Matthews sees his conviction and death penalty recommendation as some sort of justice.
I feel like this is good for everyone that he's...
Emma, who's JD? If you can put that in chat.
Her
Matthews says she wants to talk about what happened for her own sake and for other domestic violence cases.
I want people to know that they can leave, like get help.
As for Wilson, he's in jail, waiting to see if judge will agree to the jury's recommendation and sentence him to death.
We're a strong group of people that he didn't beat. And unfortunately, it took 2 women dying for him to get noticed. You didn't win, and you're going to get what you deserve.
As of Monday evening, the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office says that they are currently working on my request. Matthews says she wants to file a lawsuit against the Sheriff's Office for the outcome of her case. Again, Wilson will be sentenced on July 23rd, and I will be...
All right, folks, mark your calendar for July 23rd. I wonder what's going to happen. This Joker, literally, is requesting to wear street clothes. Or not, I'm sorry, yeah, street clothes, not to wear his jail scrubs. Now we're going to talk about Wade Wilson and supposed, you guys all like Jumpsuit Pablo. So his latest video says Wade Wilson killed a third person, and you're going to see this other clown that was his next door neighbor, his cellmate, whatever, next cellmate, that looks up to Wade Wilson and got the exact same tattoos by the same person. I don't know how anyone looks up to this guy, but I want you to see this, and then we're going to go over the we're going to do the Dr. G explains. I think that's important. I want you guys, you ladies especially that are out dating, to be able to identify things like this if you're not too scared to date anymore after all this. Okay, tats. Graciela says, oh, wow. Do we have free medical here? No dental. Thanks for the Medicare. I'm struggling. Tumor in my life was so painful. I don't know where you are, but I think Medi-Cal is everywhere. I think it's not the best, but all right, let's, prayers for you, Graciela. So Pablo's got a lot. You guys go to his channel, watch it after. A lot of his things will say something and you don't get the complete, but I'm not sure how he does that. So let's he does have an inside person that he talks to. Bree, do you want to explain that really quick about who he talks to? Kelly's mentioned in this one. He's mentioned in a few, or she
Yeah,
is.
so I guess everyone seems to know that Jumpsuit Pablo he's a criminal background. And so over his YouTube career, he's met people in different jails in, South Carolina and all that stuff. So he has inmates that have contraband phones that contact him, and he's able to reach out to them if specific people go in. Like, he's been able to get inside information from Florida about Stephen Stearns, inside information about what would happen, the difference between if Wade Wilson was to get, life without parole or the death penalty, where he would go, and if he'd end up where this inmate is that covers his face heavily, and gives his opinions and stuff like that. So the one thing I've learned is he did put a title up on one of his videos where he said that Wade Wilson was jumped recently by some inmates. Now, I did a thorough look on the internet. There's been information mentioned about him being jumped before and getting, a head injury by getting jumped by 3 inmates, but it doesn't say anything about it being recent. So
Right.
I don't know if
Yeah.
this is from him talking before, or if it's a clickbait title or what it is. I clicked on it right away and I was like, "Oh, he got jumped. Someone finally
I
got to
know.
him."
So did
And
I.
then
So
I
did I.
watched it and I'm like, "Okay, waiting and waiting." And I'm like, this is not what I expected this video to be about. Okay, where is it? Like, I sped it up and I'm like, "Okay, this is not what I thought it was going to be." But yeah, he does have some inside people. And yeah, he just basically he has one source. He talks about how, where he has his sources out in, South Carolina and North Carolina, and he has one source in Florida. So he said that if Wade Wilson was to get life without parole, the likeliness of Wade going to where this inmate is that he knows is very high. But if he gets death row or death penalty, then he'd be going to a different part of the facility or a different facility altogether in Lee County, because they have 3 different facilities out that way for Lee County. So the inmates wouldn't be anywhere near him.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah. So this is, thank you for explaining. There's a bunch of different parts of the videos, and I do have the JD delays. I'm not going to play that now because I have other parts, but I do have it marked. Bree sent that to me. It's a 30-minute interview with Kelly Matthews. I wasn't even planning on having questions answered by her today or any of that, but it kind of was last minute. So I'll go through this, and I put that on my downloads. Let's listen to this a little bit, and you can see that Joker, that guy that was his not a cellmate, but his next door neighbor, so to speak, next door cellie, got the same tattoos, exactly the same, from the same guy. All right, let's listen. They say that Wade Wilson, there's a third person, and I wouldn't doubt if there are more.
Last night about Wade Wilson with some crazy updates. Over 100,000 people have viewed this in just a few hours. I have even more updates for you now, kind of building on some of those things and just some things that you just gets pretty wacky. Okay, so just buckle yourself in, but we're going to go through it all. And it all starts with the guy who was formerly locked up in the same cell block as Wade Wilson. He was in the cell right beside him. This guy, they even got the matching tattoos together. And Wade Wilson told him a lot. Some of that is true. Some of that, obviously we know Wade Wilson likes his stories and his story times and his fairy tales and his fantasies of who he is and what he does. But
that guy's, what is that on that guy's head? It looks like he's got a pineapple. I don't even know. These guys are just clowns, everybody.
I think it is a pineapple because there's a lot of jokes about Bikini Bottom and SpongeBob. So it looks like but it's not center. So it looks like a pineapple that's not fully centered.
It looks like a pineapple. You can see that they almost have the same tattoos. They put stitches on his, they tried to do more detail on this guy, but ridiculous. Not the kind of person that you look up to. Very
nevertheless,
strange.
This guy's just telling me what he was told. Okay, so we got to start with this because it gets wacky. We're talking about
clowns,
some guy, Wade being a hitman, and he got paid tens of thousands of dollars to kill some guy who was on the Deadliest Catch TV show, and he describes his tattoo.
That's what it was.
This gets corroborated with who the guy is.
Okay, so the Deadliest Catch, there's a guy on there, and he also has a criminal history, and supposedly him and Wade Wilson had a relationship together, an intimate, more sexual one. But that's what this documentary is probably going to be about, is a lot of these kind of things.
Is by the ex, and then we find the guy, and let's just get into it, and let's take it from the top. And I'll tell you now, we're even got to get to some part where there's bloody crowbars and men's clothes being brought home by Wade Wilson, and he instructs his girlfriend to throw the crowbar into the woods because they got to get rid of this evidence. And I don't even know if the police know about this. I mean, it gets crazy, people. Tune in.
Is with
so
Kelly.
If you watched the video from last night, the previous video with two of these, pretty much the same two sources. The guy who was in the cell block with Wade Wilson, who got the tattoos with him, used to work out with him every day, and they used to talk about all this stuff. He claimed that Wade told him he used to be a hitman. And so when I asked about this with his ex-girlfriend, Kelly Matthews, who has been working with me and answering questions, giving me insight and information, she said, no, I don't think Wade was ever a hitman. I don't know anything about that. I think he's full of crap. So I posted this video, and of course, his former cell block fellow inmate messaged me again, and he sent me a very, very long message with a lot of detail. I'll spare you most of it and just kind of sum it up for you. Basically, he's telling me some things that, it might sound kind of off the wall, but let me remind you, this guy and Wade Wilson's ex-girlfriend, Kelly Matthews, they don't know each other. They've never spoken.
Yeah, I don't normally play stuff like this on here because it's kind of a lot of drama, and maybe it happened, but this is part of this story, which is interesting, and what's going to come out. After that, we're going to do the Dr. G and explain how he was in when he was being sentenced and so forth. But this is his story. He's a clown, folks. It's ridiculous.
They don't know each other from a can of paint. They don't even know each other exists. The details he gave when I relayed these, or when I brought this to her, and the matching details that were given, that's when it started to get interesting. So he tells me that Wade Wilson, he definitely slid some paperwork under his door just about his whole, all the evidence the state had against him for these, for what he was in there for, not related to this that I'm about to talk about, but they got very close with each other in that way. He said that with these, the evidence and the papers that were passed under the door, there was something there about a guy who was on the Deadliest Catch. The TV show, if you're not familiar with it, this is what it looks like. It's the Deadliest Catch. And he said there's a guy on there with an anchor tattoo under his eye. And he says that Wade basically was paid by this guy $80,000 And he had that money because he was very well paid by appearing on this TV show from the, the Deadliest Catch. He paid Wade to murder somebody. That's what this paperwork said that he saw, and it had a picture of him. Okay. But he says that apparently they didn't have enough evidence, and Wade went on to kind of just beat these charges, or these charges got dropped, which is a very common thing. If they don't have enough evidence and you're not ready to just plead guilty, they can't trick you into really just like confessing and incriminating yourself. They'll, after a certain amount of time goes by, these charges may get dropped. And so he says that's pretty much what happened. They didn't have enough on Wade for whoever he allegedly killed, that he was paid to kill by this guy from the Deadliest Catch. And we've identified this guy. We'll get into that in a second. So he tells me this.
Well, before we get into that, Giselle, I'm not sure if you came in late, but we do know he got the death penalty. I played that at the very beginning, but there is still a Spencer hearing for his last pleas. I don't know what it's going to look like, but he got the death penalty, and there's one more thing that they got to do to solidify that. So yeah, we do know that, and he's not there yet. Yeah, it happens July 23rd, I believe, at 9 a.m. if I'm correct. And you can correct me if I'm wrong, Carrie. But yeah, death penalty. Let's see if it sticks. I have a feeling that it will. Yeah, but you can't make this stuff up.
I reach out to Wade's ex-girlfriend, Kelly Matthews, and she has a TikTok. She's very vocal about everything. She's actually currently being interviewed by Netflix. They're making an entire docuseries about Wade Wilson. She's already been verified and vetted as one of his ex-girlfriends, and she knows what she's talking about. I've been in contact with her, and I talked to her today, and she says, when I brought this information to her, she says, actually, it's funny you say that, because she said Wade left her, Kelly, for a girl named Sarah. Sarah then at one point left Wade, probably after Wade got locked up.
Look at that.
For a man who is a cast member of the TV show Deadliest Catch, and she sent me a photo of him, and here he is. Do you notice anything? Maybe a tattoo right under that eye? What is that? Let's zoom in. That's an anchor. And mind you, these two people who are giving me this separate information don't know each other. She says, but he's, when we looked into him, when I say we, I mean me and JD DeLay. JD DeLay actually looked him up and found out this guy has a pretty colorful criminal history. This guy, Eric, from the Deadliest Catch TV show, he even has it in his bio. He's very proud of it. That's his claim to fame. He's been arrested time.
Yeah, he does have a history, Deadliest Catch. Adam Jumpsuit does have a deep voice, and you shouldn't be jealous, because I actually love watching your streams, your live streams. Your voice is very soothing. I couldn't watch Jumpsuit Pablo all the time. I watch it sometimes, but it's just too much and too dramatic. But this story is, and that's the only reason I'm playing it. I normally don't. I try to stay out of all this, but this is part of the case, so.
Time and time again for what? Charges related to physical abuse against women that he is dating. And I know this may be a stretch and a reach, but I mean, I'm starting to see how him and Wade probably are in the same kind of social circle. Seems like they both kind of like to do the same type of thing. And it's interesting because his ex-girlfriend goes on to say that, now that she thinks about it, Wade did come home one night with a man's change of clothes from another man, basically, and a bloody crowbar. She says she did ask him, like, what the heck is this? What's going on? And of course, he wouldn't tell her much of anything. All he said is, we need to get rid of this. Take care of it. And gave her the crowbar. And she says she threw the bloody crowbar into the woods. And as far as I know, the police don't know about this, and this never came out. And I can't help but think, if the police found that and tested it, the blood on it, we might have a whole new murder here. And I understand, again, this is speculation, hearsay, and reach, but I mean, this is how it starts. This is how these conversations get opened and brought to the light. And so that's what I'm bringing to you people. So that's what we have here. And I even reached out to this guy from the Deadliest Catch, Mr. Eric with a K. And unfortunately, he may be back in jail. He hasn't been active on his social media since February. So there's a fat chance that he'll respond to me. I did send him a message trying to get his comment on all of this and see what information he may be willing to offer up. But hey, that was maybe 3 hours ago. If we hear back from him, we hear back, and you better believe I'm going to give you the updates first. But right now, I'll tell you right now, I'm in the middle of something. I'm on to something. I'm telling you, I'm on to something. We're going to figure some stuff out. We're going to get to the bottom of it. But that's the update I have for you all. Let me know what you think.
All right. Yeah, everybody go. He's got a lot of subscribers. Thank you, Jumpsuit Pablo, for that. And I am glad Jumpsuit got his other tooth put in. If you guys watched it before, he would talk, and a lot of the Murdaugh trial things, he didn't have a tooth in. And I was like, dude, you got 100,000 subs. And I would tell him this to him, like, go get your tooth put in. When you got 100,000 subs, all of us YouTubers know that you're making a decent amount of money. So now we're going to talk about the Wade Wilson reaction to the death penalty. And I love the way Dr. G explains things. So we're going to watch that right now, and we can continue talking. We have 181 people here. I love each and every single one of you. Thank you all for the support today and always. This is a fan-funded channel, so that's how we do it around here. That's what keeps us going, folks, and I appreciate every one of you.
Hey, everybody, Dr. G here. I'm a licensed clinical psychologist and body language expert, and today we're going to be analyzing the behavior and body language of Wade Wilson. Wade Wilson was recently found guilty for the murder of 2 women that he brutally strangled. Before we get started with this analysis, I wanted to remind you of a couple of things. One, this is not a psychological evaluation of any kind. These are just my opinions. In addition to that, I do want to remind you to like and subscribe if you want to see more content just like this. Yes. All right, let's go. We're going to be looking at today's Wade Wilson's reaction to the penalty phase of his trial. Let's just jump right in. All right, verdict form. Now, the first thing you're probably noticing as they're getting the verdict form ready is that he's leaning back. Now, this is an attempt to appear casual. It's an attempt to appear calm. As you can see, he's got his nose in the air. You're going to see a lot more of this. He's leaning back. He's trying to appear calm, but we're going to see there's probably a lot more emotion under the surface than initially meets the eye. All right, verdict form appears to be in order. We'll let the clerk publish the verdict.
Thank you, Lynette.
In the circuit court of the...
Now, you probably noticed a lot of emotion just then. First thing you see is a heavy swallow. Now, as our mouths dry out, as we're getting more and more anxious, it makes us aware of the different processes going on in our body. So it ends up oftentimes causing us to think about the sensations in our throat, causes us to swallow. So you're seeing him swallowing, which means he's got a lot of anxiety.
And actually, look at his face. Without Dr. G even explaining, you can see that look in his eyes. Like he actually looks angry. And I don't know if he's going to say that because I haven't watched this yet, but he looks like he's pissed.
Anxiety right now. You're also seeing him look around everywhere.
Anxiety,
he doesn't know where to put his eyes.
There's
a lot of anxiety and stress under the surface that he doesn't want to show. Like I said, the leaning back is an attempt to counterbalance how he's feeling, because right now he's probably feeling very intense. But as we're going to talk about with some of the tattoos, that's the last way that he would want you to think that he feels right now, I think.
All right, verdict form appears to be in order. We'll let the clerk publish the verdict. In the circuit court of the 20th Judicial...
See, there's those deep swallows again. He's starting to blink more. The stress is building and building.
Circuit in Lee County, Florida. Criminal action. State of Florida versus Wade Wilson. Case number.
You can also see his chest moving up and down pretty rapidly, actually. He's taking heavy, deep breaths. Yep. The reason we do that is when our heart pumps harder, when our heart beats faster, it uses up more oxygen. Therefore, we need to breathe heavier. We need to breathe more. So right now, you're seeing somebody who's feeling a tremendous amount of stress, as most people would in a situation like this, but he doesn't want to show it. So some people want you to see how stressed out they are. Some people do not. And some people don't seem to feel much of anything. I've absolutely watched verdicts being read where people seem to feel or experience very little. This does not seem to be the case with him. I think that he's someone that feels very intensely. And right now,
I don't know if Dr. G explained a minute ago, but did you see how many times he blinked? He's just blinking and blinking. That's a sign of nervousness. Yeah, his little skull's tattooer. Hello, I haven't seen you here, but thank you for coming. Don't forget to, actually, I have seen you. I think you changed your name. He's definitely heavily blinking, and you can tell that now he's getting scared. And we want him to be scared. We want him to feel the way he made those women feel before he took their lives and as he assaulted each and every one of them.
As I said before, he's leaning back. He's got his nose in the air. We put our nose in the air to show everybody else that we're better than them, that we're above a certain situation. So he's basically saying, this doesn't affect me. But as we can see, it seems very much to affect him.
State of Florida versus Wade Wilson. Case number 19 CF 568. Jury verdict form. Penalty phase.
Death.
We the jury.
All right, now you see that little twitch in the corner of his mouth. So they said penalty phase, big swallow, it's a twitch in the corner of his mouth. What this is his contempt. Now, most emotions we see on both sides of the body, except for contempt. So when somebody smiles, both sides, frowns, both sides, you get the idea. But when you see this weird little twitch, that is a contemptuous feeling. So he feels contempt that they're getting ready to read him this verdict, that they're getting ready to read him the penalty.
Jury verdict form, penalty phase.
That's the look right there. A one-sided smirk, a quick twitch on his face because the feelings of contempt are so intense. And part of the reason is that he has no control at this point. You got to realize somebody like him is going to absolutely want to be in complete and utter control at any given time. And in this situation right here, when you have a jury member reading something to you and you have no control, that's going to stir up feelings of contempt and probably other feelings as well.
Reasonable doubt that Wade Wilson was previously convicted of a felony and under sentence of imprisonment.
Now, something that's going to be absolutely torturous to him is how long it's taking, because there's a process. The jury has to read through this. They have to read the statement, in essence, that's written down. And so he's not going to like this. He's going to want to just go ahead and get things over with. So he is sitting there. He is simmering. He's struggling to make it through this because he has to sit there and listen, yet he wants an answer quickly. So for somebody like him who's probably impatient, probably impulsive, this is going to be torturous for him, basically.
Or placed on community control or on felony probation. Yes. We, the jury, find unanimously that the state has established.
And as you can see, the deep swallowing again. He also looked at the camera right here. Watch this right here.
There it is.
We, the jury.
He has a lot of anxiety and he knows it. And I think that he wants to make sure that everybody sees what he wants people to see.
He also likes a lot of attention, folks, hence the tattoos, but he does watch a lot of the news and he watches himself on the news from what I was told. So he's been aware of the camera the entire time. He likes it. You remember he was supposed to get makeup for the tattoos to cover him up. The swastika one, he put a motion in. They said they would pay for it, and then he denied it. So he also put a motion in so he can have a suit for his Spencer hearing. I don't know, Carrie, do you know if they are going to allow that, or they're going to let him be in his jail scrubs? He is absolutely a poser, Lynette. And I can tell you from being in the tattoo community for over 2 decades, 27 years now, there's people that get tattoos because they like the art or because they really are tough and they whatnot. He's a poser. You could see that in him. He just did that to make himself look tougher, and he just wanted to see himself on TV with those tattoos. Absolute poser. I don't think he has a soul either, by the way.
I mean, you have to think about the tattoos that he has. He's very big on appearance. You don't get a swastika tattoo in your face without knowing that people are looking at you and thinking about how people are perceiving you. He wants people to be afraid of him. He wants to be intimidating. He wants to control how others feel. And he has no control right now. So knowing he's being recorded, knowing this is taking a while, these are all things that are going to add to his frustration and his stress.
We find unanimously that the state has established beyond a reasonable doubt that Wade Wilson was previously convicted of another capital felony or of a felony involving the use of threat of violence to the person. Yes.
Now you saw him blink very slowly right there. Now blinking naturally is very quick. That was very slow, which means it was intentional. Watch this again.
Use of threat of violence to the person. Yes. We, the jury.
So that slow blink, this means that he is giving thought to how he's being perceived. He blinked slowly. He looked at the camera. He's trying to remain calm because I think that that's how he wants to appear to everybody else, that he's calm, that he's above this, that he doesn't care what's being said, that he doesn't care the outcome here, that he is unaffected, which once again does not seem to be the case.
Unanimously find that the state has.
And there was that contempt again. Watch this right here.
Yes, to the person. Yes. We, the jury, unanimously find that.
So we, the jury, unanimously find. Immediately, I think he's preparing himself once again for what's getting ready to be said. He knows it's not going to go his way, but he knows how uncomfortable it's going to feel to have to hear this, to have to listen to this, to have people looking at him when this is being said. And so once again, there's that contempt right there.
Unanimously find that the state has established beyond a reasonable doubt that the first-degree murder was especially heinous, atrocious, or cruel. Yes. We, the jury, unanimously find that the state has established beyond a reasonable doubt that the first-degree murder was committed in a cold, calculated, and premeditated manner without any pretense of moral or legal justification.
I do think the fact that there's a process, the fact that he has no control, once again, is making him struggle. You see that he doesn't know where to look. He keeps looking around, and then he continues to look back at the camera. He seems to have this pattern of looking around, looking at the camera. There's just so much discomfort right now.
That Wade Wilson should be sentenced to death. As to count 4, first-degree murder, Diane Ruiz. We, the jury, unanimously find that the state has established beyond a reasonable doubt.
And as you can see, he was taking deep breaths, staring straight ahead. After hearing that, trying to process the fact that they had basically said that he's going to get the death penalty. So at that point, he'd been waiting for it. He'd been anticipating it. And then he's trying to manage the feelings that come with that.
aggravating factors. We, the jury,
So if you look at the tattoos that he has, obviously there's a couple of swastikas there. The whole goal is to assert mental dominance over people so that when people look at him, they know that he is hateful.
Yeah, sometimes some people didn't see that in his hairline. He did a giant swastika right here. Now you can see it, and then he did a little one here. I don't know why he put glory in there, and I don't know what that is. It looks almost like it's 666s, but I can't really tell. It doesn't matter. It's a bunch of scribble and a bunch of nonsense. And somebody just called that Patricia Rosh tattoos are art, and he just has words scribbled on his face. It's like he wanted to get as many as he could before the trial happened so he can see himself on TV with those tattoos. Yeah, he didn't grow his hair out because he wanted people to see that. He's so cocky that he wanted to express himself and let people in jail or prison see those tattoos. He did it for a reason. Wade Wilson's pending his Spencer hearing and sentenced for 2 counts of first-degree murder, grand theft, fecal, battery, burglary of occupied dwelling, and yes, Carrie, I don't know if you missed that earlier. Thank you. I did read that. I brought up the paperwork as well, and I'm pretty sure that he is going to get the death penalty, and they're going to stick to that. Now, he will be by himself most of the time, which in my opinion is going to be better because he needs so much attention that it's going to kill him inside being by himself, like Stephen Stearns. How Stephen Stearns needs his origami and all his little nonsense that he needs. He's by himself. He needs people around him, and so does this guy, Sweetie Brookahire. Jay, I'm glad I found you. Sweetie, I'm glad I found you, as well as so many other new friends that I have now. I appreciate that so much, all of you. Thank you. I hit over 15,000 this weekend, and I'm hoping to hit 20 and then 50,000 so that we can get out there and do some real things and help people with the justice system, help them with mental health if we can. Whatever we can do is the best we could do. So yeah, hit that like button. Thank you. They'll probably allow him to wear normal clothes. They probably will. Yeah, dumb and dumber. Yeah, him and that guy are just complete idiots and posers. Just posers.
They know that he's angry to go ahead and assert dominance of some kind. If you look at the mouth stitches, what looks to be sewn shut, it's presumably, I assume some of it, that's probably a throwback to the Joker from The Dark Knight who had the cuts on his face. And so there's some idea that he's unpredictable, that he's wild. But the point is that with these tattoos, he is trying to wear who he is very much on his face. He wants you to see this. This is the goal of this, is to show you who he is. The goal of this is to make a statement when people look at him. So you got to think about the fact that somebody that has these types of tattoos really is trying to speak to people without saying anything.
And there are a lot of people that admire those tattoos. Bree talked about it earlier, and he has thousands of people, women, messaging him. And now that they talked about him dating men, he's probably going to have men hitting him up too. And it's probably not going to be a bad thing for him if he's actually dating men, or should I say sleeping with men, then he's going to like it, unless they brutally do it to him the way he did it, which should happen to him, an eye for an eye, I guess. But let karma and the higher power above take care of that. Right. Thank you, Clark. We do need to get me over 100K. I appreciate that. And I adore you and Carrie and Paul and all the mods. Thank you. Savage Barbie, one of my favorites. I love that she's such a savage. All right, let's continue.
Jurors, vote for the death penalty. Your recommendation must be for a penalty of life in prison without the possibility of parole. If 8 or more jurors vote.
It also looks like he's trying to keep a slight smirk on his face right now. It's a little bit hard to tell. And the fact that there's that tattoo makes it more distracting, but it looks like he's trying to keep a slight smile on his face. Although based on all the stress he's shown so far, I'm not sure that he actually feels any happiness or that he actually feels any degree of being pleased with anything going on right now. If anything, I think that he's probably very frustrated by the fact that he has no control in this moment. And, once again, you look at his tattoos, those are all about control and controlling how other people feel when they look at him.
For the death penalty, your recommendation must be for the death penalty. We have further considered whether Wade Wilson should be sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole or death.
Death.
We, the jury, find by a vote of 10-2 that Wade Wilson should be sentenced to death.
Get him out of here.
Dated this 25th day of June, 2024, and Lee County.
Now, right now, to me, after they'd said that he should be sentenced to death, he looks to me like he's trying to hide a little bit, because at that point, he's sitting very still. Watch this part right here.
Of 10-2 that Wade Wilson should be sentenced to death. Dated this 25th day of June, 2024, in Lee County, Florida, 4-person, 230.
So oftentimes when we feel danger, when we feel a threat, we tend to freeze. And I think at that moment, that's exactly what's happening. He's freezing. He hears that he's going to be.
Now, before he continues, I want you to know personally that it's not about me thinking, oh, the death penalty, kill him. I want murders, more going on. It's really just what happens on the death penalty and him being by himself and him having that fear every day. Hello, Mom. Good to see you. My mom's here. Pearl says he is ugly and evil. He's very evil, Mom. Very, very evil. I believe, in my opinion, he enjoyed every minute of murdering those women in the way he did, and the abuse that went along with the essaying that he did. He enjoyed it. He loved the control and the power, and he's enjoying being on TV right now. I love you, Mom. Can't wait to see you. 4 more days until I see you. All right. Yeah, he looks like he's fighting back tears. So I do not enjoy people dying. It's the process of it that scares them. And that's what he deserves, being alone. Mama Pearl. Miss Pearl. Hi, Mom. Love you, Mom. Thanks for watching my shows. That's where I started true crime, was from my mom.
Be sentenced to death. That makes him freeze. And that's the body responds to that in a very literal way.
Does anybody want the jurors to be pulled? Yes, please. Okay. Members of the jury, we're going to ask each of you about the jury's decisions that you have just heard. And I'm going to go juror by number. So juror.
By the way, this is Dr. G Explains, folks. I haven't seen any links in there. If you guys can drop a few links, also drop some links of my merch if you could. I don't know if it's going to go through on my side, but we have a Teespring, and it's now teespring.com and then guilty/of/crime. So if you guys can drop some links in there of the merch, that would be great. The more you do, the more merch that we can come out with, etc. So thank you.
Do you, juror 97, agree that the decisions as read by the clerk accurately reflect what the jury decided? Juror 205, do you agree that the decisions as read by the clerk accurately reflect what the jury decided?
So as he's going through and asking each juror if they in fact made that decision or if they agree with what's being said, you can see he's looking at people one after the other. And this is meant to be intimidating. So now when he's not having to sit and listen to what's getting ready to be read, he was looking around, he was looking anxious. Now he's looking directly at people. From what I can tell, he's probably looking at each juror, trying to be intimidating.
Decided. Yes. Juror 101, do you agree that the decisions as read by the clerk accurately reflect what the jury decided? Yes. Juror 215, do you agree that the decisions as read by the clerk accurately reflect what the jury decided? Yes, Juror.
And this is something I say on a number of videos, but I really want you to consider the kind of person that would commit the types of acts that Wade Wilson did, the kinds of things that he did, the amount of control that he needs, the amount of control that's lost right here is probably almost too much to bear. It's so significant for somebody like this to be on the receiving end of having no control and having people saying in a very direct way, yes, I believe that this person should be sentenced to death.
That the decisions as read by the clerk accurately reflect what the jury decided. Yes.
Yeah, I'm just going to go at regular time on the 23rd. He's probably going to get the death penalty. It's probably going to stick. So, yeah, he's not that important. Now, Christopher Greger, on the other hand, I'm going to take the day off August 2nd. I have Bree Michelow coming on to get her reaction. And also Bree Michelow's coming on tomorrow. So we have it scheduled for her to come on and talk about what she's been going through while she's waiting and whatever else she wants to talk about. We want to remember little Corey Michelow tomorrow. So hit the notification bell for everything. We have a good run of shows this week, everybody.
Juror 315, do you agree that the decisions as read by the clerk accurately reflect what the jury?
And as you can see, he's only moving his eyes rather than moving his whole head and looking at people because he wants to give off an air of nonchalance. He wants to make it seem like he doesn't really care, but also wants to seem intimidating. So his style of doing this, his style of sitting still and then staring at people or only using his eyes to look, is really a way to appear calm.
309. Do you agree that the decisions as read by the clerk accurately reflect what the jury decided? Ladies and gentlemen, I wish to thank you for your time and consideration of this case. I also wish to advise you of some very special privileges enjoyed by jurors. With that, we thank you again for your service. Gather your belongings, make sure you don't leave anything in the jury room, and the bailiff will escort you out. You are discharged.
All right. And as you can see, he turns to actually face the jury a little bit. He's keeping his chest open, basically saying, I don't feel threatened by you. I'm going to stay open and I don't need to protect myself from you. He's also got his thumbs tucked into his pants, which in some ways is to show that he's feeling casual. It's an attempt to try to appear nonchalant about what's going on. But as he's facing the jury, it's meant to both not only look nonchalant, but also to look intimidating. The idea of facing them, the idea of looking at them. I mean, you really have to consider the fact that this is someone who has literal visible swastikas tattooed on his face and on his head. The goal of intimidating people is clear for him. That's obviously something that's important to him and something that he wants to do. And I really think that he's trying to do that right now.
He does look like a...
All right, please be seated. All right.
He also did the nervous sway. He did the Jen Soto and Chris Watts sway, which is a very nervous sway. This week, we're also going to go over the Jen Soto back-to-back interviews. I have my analysis guy that said, I'll be your analysis guy. And so we're going to do that. We're going to do that with Jen Soto and back-to-back with a different perspective from somebody that's very passionate about the case. So like I said, this week is going to be a crazy week of good shows and every day at 4:00, folks. So you know where I'll be. Whoever loves coffee, get your guilty crime mug. I got to get one for my mom. She loves black mugs. For some reason, she likes to drink her coffee out of black mug. So I got to order one of those.
What says the state in regards to sentencing? I know we have to have this.
And look how wide open his legs are right now. Now, part of the reason we do this is to assert dominance, is to show I can take up as much space as humanly possible. I'm going to show no deference to the court.
And there's his package. The whole show, he was, I don't know why the camera was like right there, but it was. Now, swaying doesn't mean that you're accused of anything. It just means either you have a nervousness about you and you're waiting for something, or some people just have a lot of excess energy. But when you're being accused of a crime, then you can see where the nervousness is coming from. I fidget a lot as well. You can see, and I talk with my hands, etc. It's hard for me to sit still. No, I didn't commit a crime of anything, and I'm not doing that. But if I was accused of one and I was sitting there nervous, well, then you can say that. Yeah, we love the analysis guy. Thank you. You know who I'm talking about.
Going to be as big as I can be because I'm important and I can take up whatever room I want.
Enter hearing.
Skin tight, yeah.
So we'll go ahead and stop here. Today, we saw somebody who seems to really want to give off the impression that they were feeling calm, that they were above everything going on around them, that they weren't intimidated by the things happening. But at the same time, it appeared at times that he wanted to intimidate. He wanted to scare the jury, I'm guessing. He wanted to feel powerful in those moments because this, in a very real way, is a situation where he doesn't have any power. Hopefully, this is helping you better understand some of the behavior and the body language that we saw.
Oh, man, I have another video, too. I don't know if you guys are... I knew this was going to be, like, extra long today. Let me see if you guys are interested in this. I have a video of these crazy women that I wanted to show you, and it's kind of unbelievable. So if you guys want to stay here a little longer, there's a TikTok fan cam for Wade Wilson, and it's kind of bringing us full circle about the women and the things that are happening. So I know some of you are leaving, but if some of you want to stay here, we have 170 people here. We have 170 people and 212 people that are liking it. That's crazy. Let's watch this because it's important. And they're working on a Netflix documentary. And I hope Kelly gets paid good for that.
Hey guys, what's up? And welcome back to my channel.
So she can get some help. So this Instagram lady, ready to declare, listen to this. You cannot make this stuff up.
I was on TikTok and I came across a community that I was so fine with leaving behind, a community that I was so okay with never hearing from ever again. But we know that's not really how life goes. Basically, if you've been here for a while, you know that I like talking about weird communities that I find online, communities that I have the misfortune of coming across. Now, so one community that I've had a long-standing issue with is the Hibristophiliacs. Now, I don't know if they refer to themselves as that. I don't know what their inner lingo is, but basically we're talking about the community of people who sexualize, who romanticize serial killers. So I'm talking about the Ted Bundy fangirls as an example. And any other criminal, really. But I've seen a lot of the community with the Columbine shooters, obviously Ted Bundy, Richard Ramirez, a lot of the big serial killers. I think that the fact that a lot of these people are quote-unquote stans of criminals from a while ago puts a degree of separation. When they are stans or drooling over someone who's very much still alive and who is still being sentenced, that hits closer to home because it's like, wow, okay, so this is happening in real time. Like, you're not even talking about, you know, sexualizing someone from 40 years ago, which is still fucked up, but it's like the crimes happened so long ago that I can see how someone would become that delusional. See a therapist. So who am I talking about? So basically I was scrolling on TikTok and I had the misfortune of coming across these videos. Now, the ones I'm going to show you, I'm going to change the music because of copyright, but I'll try and find equally as shitty music to kind of give the same vibe.
Yes, please. Okay, now you can see there. Maybe I should just pull that and not have it at all. I don't know if we need volume in this, but I mean, what are they doing there in this case for a win? Jury recommends it. I wonder what she's talking about. Let's see. Okay, I don't even think that we should play the music. Let me put this up so you can see. What is this? TikTok fan cams. Spencer hearing. Okay, so Spencer hearing is the 23rd. Are they just focusing on Wade Wilson? TikTok fan cams. Okay, now we can listen.
So I was already like, this does not look good. So basically, we're going to talk about this man's crimes. He is a killer, a strangler. In fact, he has a swastika tattoo. Just so you get an idea of all the people who are unironically saying, I can fix him in the comments, which I don't know what the percentage is. I definitely know some people are kidding, but I also definitely know some people aren't. And that scares me to my very core. So let's talk about this criminal that has all the girls freaking out. And guys, I mean, I don't know. Stupidity doesn't have a gender. So anyway,
that's what I
killer
think
sporting
too.
Nazi face tattoos is found guilty of brutal strangling of 2 Florida women hours apart. Wade Wilson, 30, faces the death penalty for the October 2019 murders of 35-year-old Kristine Melton and 43-year-old Diane Ruiz. Now, I'd like to underline that within the first, 5 seconds of me reading this, this man murdered 2 women within the same day, just hours apart, and you're out here thirsting over this guy. All right, well, we already knew the bar was low, but this, okay. Wade Wilson has been convicted.
Well, you know what? They did that in court for some reason. They had a bad... Whoever was doing the camera didn't do that great of a job, and for some reason they had it on his crotch almost the whole time. So definitely do not want to sexualize this man anymore. And the women that are already pining over him, we have no control over. I have no idea what is wrong with them for doing that. Jen says, I'll never date again between Chris Watts and this guy. I'm so good. Right. Crotch patrol. Yeah, that isn't any of our faults. The cameraman should have been told on the first day.
Convicted of murdering 2 Florida women who were brutally strangled just hours apart. The Cape Coral jury deliberated for just 2 hours and 7 minutes before reaching the verdict on Wednesday. Wilson appeared to swallow back tears as he was found guilty on all counts. I'll see if I can find the TikToks, but there are TikToks that say, look at him being emotionless, and then there are other ones being like, look at him fighting back tears, and it's the exact same footage, so I guess it's a question of interpretation. He also does smirk at some points. I'll insert all of this if I can find it. He does smirk, but it's hard to tell with the shitty tattoo, so.
It may have been collected by forensics.
Did you?
Oh, he is smiling there
go
for
through
sure.
the phone?
It was forensically examined, I believe, sir, yes.
But did you go through it first?
No, sir.
You didn't go in and scroll through anything?
No, sir.
Nothing further, Judge.
I don't know what he's trying to emote. I don't know if he was hoping for TikTok fan cams so the girlies can send him money in prison. But anyway, well, if he gets to prison, because death penalty. Jurors will now be tasked with making a recommendation whether Wilson will face the death penalty or life in prison without parole. Judge Nick Thompson will then make the final decision. The sentencing phase is set to begin on June 20th. Wilson, 30, who was allowed to wear makeup in court to cover the swastika tattoos on his face, refused to testify in his double murder trial, which began in Cape Coral 2 weeks ago. In closing arguments on Wednesday, the prosecution said Wilson killed Kristine Melton, 35, and Diane Ruiz, 43, on October 7, 2019, for the sake of killing. This case was about killing for the sake of killing. Assistant State Attorney Andreas Gardner told the court, strangulation is the epitome of life slipping through someone's hands. Melton was found dead in her Cape Coral home. She was tied and wrapped. Her skin had turned blue, and she had broken fingernails. He had driven over her repeatedly and tried to make her look like spaghetti, Gardner said.
She said spaghetti.
This is apparently a direct quote to trying to make her look like spaghetti. Truly, truly, truly.
Spaghetti.
How do you separate someone's appearance from the little detail that they're a fucking strangler, and also they want to basically churn people like meat? Ruiz was found dead in an empty lot on the same day. Police say both had been strangled. Both of them died on October 7th, 2019.
And keep in mind, he did brag about that. He even told his dad, which went on the stand and testified. If you've been watching this trial, this happened years ago. However, I don't know how a woman can be serious when they say they want to. I don't know if it's just that his looks, or they really do think they can fix him, or what it is. But yeah, I would love for someone to. I'd love to talk to someone that really does think that really thinks that they can fix him. I'd love to try to talk them out of it. Hello, sunshine. You're right. Yeah, he's a disgusting poser. He's an evil man. He's an evil monster, but he's a poser at that. He really truly is.
Both of them had been strangled, and both of them were forever silenced. The last person they encountered was Mr. Wade Wilson, Gardner said. The prosecution said Wilson was still bragging about the murders to police 3 days later, and claimed his biggest concern was getting a burger and fries while Diane Ruiz laid in the field with bugs eating her face, making her unrecognizable. Wilson's defense attorney, Lee Hollander, did not deny that his client was guilty of the killings, but argued there was no premeditation, and argued that Wilson was under the influence of drugs at the time. We're not claiming that he didn't do it, Hollander said. I suspect the drugs. He asked the jury to consider convicting Wilson on the second-degree murder charge. I'm not arguing insanity. I'm arguing the state is claiming premeditation. I'm arguing he's whacked out of his mind for any of this, Hollander added. Wilson's trial has been 5 years in the making after being plagued with a slew of delays, including the death of his first attorney, and Wilson's brief escape from a holding jail cell. I don't even know where to begin here. This man seems to just be followed by tragedy. But aside from that, okay, so I don't know if drugs are part of the equation, okay? If drugs are part of the equation, hopefully rehab can do what it needs to do. Obviously, therapy needs to go with that. That being said, if drugs are not really part of the equation in the sense of they just heightened something that's very much already there, what can you really do? And I don't like to say, you know, people are a lost cause. I do think some people are a lost cause, to be clear. But there's nothing redeeming here. That's the thing I'm really struggling with, because obviously, I'm going to say it just in case, there is nothing I support here. He's a horrible man, and the fact that I even have to voice that makes me uncomfortable. But when I was trying to understand how you make these TikTok fan cams, because the thing is also...
Not only that, and I do have that letter, Carrie, thank you. I'll pull that up at the very end of it, and I'll read it. A lady, I don't even know if she's a lady. I'm just going to call her that because I don't know her, and I'll block out her address. She's from Visalia, California, and she writes to Nicholas Thompson, who is the judge, and she writes a letter about wanting him to consider not giving him the death penalty, rather life without parole. And I'll tell you why in a minute as soon as this is over. I'm very interested in seeing some of these. I'm going to go a little bit forward because we know the case. I just don't get it.
Until she looked like spaghetti. Wilson was indicted on the murder charges in November 2019.
Spaghetti.
He has been at the Lee County Jail since October 2019, but now could face the death penalty. Juries in Florida only need 8 out of 10 members to recommend the death penalty.
I want to turn your attention to Monday, October 7th of 2019.
The first time he said he needed help. He had done something that he couldn't take back.
Good for his dad.
Did he indicate that he and his girl had gotten into an argument?
Yes, ma'am.
And who was his girl that you were aware of at the time?
I just knew her as Mila.
And
I'll
did
tell
it seem
you in a
that
little
he wanted
bit.
your help because of this argument?
Yes, ma'am.
When he called you, were you actually at work?
Yes, ma'am.
Were you able to really give your attention and time to him to try to help him at that point?
No, ma'am.
So what did you tell him when he was asking for your help?
I just told him to call me back around dinner time. I'd be done working and we'd figure it out.
And did you at some point have a conversation with your wife about him getting in touch with you, wanting your help?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, during the time that he was supposed to call, about what time was he supposed to call back?
I told him around dinner time.
Now, between the time he first called that day and dinner time, did you receive a call from a detective?
Yes, ma'am.
And was that detective looking for your son?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, when the detective was looking for your son, did you have any idea at that point of what had happened?
No, ma'am.
Did the detective want you to try to help them get in touch with your son?
She just gave me a number and said, if he calls you back, we need to
Good
talk to him.
dad. What a good dad.
Did he end up calling you later that evening?
Yes, ma'am.
And what did he tell you in that call that evening?
The final call?
Nope, the call before the final call.
He just told me, he did something. There was 2 people gone that would not be back. He said, I'm a killer.
I don't think so.
I just told him to call me back. I just thought it was another story,
So at this point, when he says that there were 2 people that wouldn't be with us and that he was a killer, did you put a lot of weight into that?
No, ma'am.
Do you think he was just telling you a story?
He's a good storyteller.
So did he then
Wow.
call you back a third time?
Yes, ma'am.
What time did he call you back?
It was around 10 o'clock.
I want to go back to that dinner time call. When he talked about these 2 people who are no longer with us and that he was a killer, did he show any type of remorse?
No, ma'am.
So let's go down to the 10 o'clock call. Again, your wife knew about kind of what was going on during that day.
Yes, ma'am.
And when he called back at 10, did he go into more details about what he had told you earlier?
Yes, ma'am.
So let's start with the first girl. If you could tell the jurors, what did he tell you?
He just said he met a girl at a bar. They went back to her house, hung out for a little bit, and then she fell asleep.
What did he say happened after she fell asleep?
Really?
He said he got on top of her and choked her.
What name did he call her? Did he refer to her as
Do you think he thought his dad was going to be proud of him? I'm a little confused. Now, we did watch this already, and I'm wondering why. When we're talking about TikTok fan cams for Wade Wilson, maybe she's just showing what he did and why would somebody, after hearing this, still write a letter like the one I'm going to show in a second. It's very interesting. I do have her name. Her name is Heidi Cox. But I'm not going to give you her address. Her address and everything's on there, which is crazy. People doing this kind of thing. And what's up, Kristine Miller? All right, I'm going to go a little bit farther. I want to see the TikTok cam thing. We saw this.
For the fact that someone's a murderer and think that they're hot. And I get thinking that someone's hot aside from their personality. We all have that person that we think is a horrible person, but they're attractive. Usually that being horrible, though, is like just someone who bothers you. It's not someone who's a murderer. So, I think we should reevaluate our standards, TikTok girlies. Let me know what you think. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you to my patrons as always, and I'll catch you guys next time.
I wish you would have showed more of the TikTok girlies, but thank you for educating us on that. I've never seen Ready to Glare before. I'm going to share this letter, and then we'll all say goodnight. We've been here for a long time. I knew today was going to be quite an episode. Hold on real quick. I don't know what I did there, but I'm gonna read this letter real quick. It's not too long, and thank you guys all for being here. I appreciate that, being here so long. And this is why I did not do it last week, because I had a long episode that day, and then after that I couldn't do another 2.5 hours. And I want to shout out to Mala. I'm just gonna say Mala B. You're all the way from India. I appreciate you. I appreciate everybody that's here. And I love seeing people from other countries. Kirsten Miller says, Wade is just evil. And he's not hot looking to me either. He just looks evil. He could have been a good looking guy if he would have chose the light side. I don't see people in that way. If they have dark energies or I feel bad vibes, I can't see them as attractive. I don't base how people look on their actual looks. I base it on, and I know it sounds funny, or maybe you think, you're crazy, but I'm attracted to people on their energy, on their vibes, and if they have light. It's not how they look. I'm not looking for some 5'8" blonde, blue eyes or brown, whatever. It's not about that. Yeah, 7:23 is the hearing. Let us know how it goes. Anne Marie B, thank you so much for gifting the 5 memberships. Whoever wanted a Crime Crew membership, there you go. You just comment, interact, like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Same Jay, it's the inner soul that's attractive. Agreed. I know some people say, oh yeah, right. No, it's very, very true. have never been like, oh, you're so good looking. I just want to. No, you have to have a soul and personality and just good vibes and good energy. Otherwise, no thanks. All right. So I hope everybody sees things that way because it should, yeah, you can see the evil in him and it should be more like that. Guy sporting a moose knuckle. Absolutely, he is. And I'm glad everybody feels that way. Same here. I look and listen for a gold aura. Right. It should be more like that. I think there'd be better people. Have we ever seen your wife? You have seen my wife. She's in some of my community posts and she's beautiful. She looks, my daughter looks just like her. It's like my daughter and my son, my wife gave birth to both of them and she throws clones. So yes, my wife is beautiful, but that's not why I have been with her for almost 2 decades. It's because she's an awesome person that keeps me entertained and she puts up with me because I'm all over the place. Amen, Jay. Hell yeah. Yeah, it's not about looks. And I actually like and I'm more attracted to older people than I am to younger people. If I was single, I wouldn't be attracted to people that are like in their 30s or their 20s. Even though I am married, I do get hit on often, and it's usually by younger people. I don't know, maybe because I don't look like I'm 45, but yeah. Anne-Marie says, Jay, I've been with my wife since the 80s. Yeah, I've been with mine since 2005. But yeah, it's interesting. I'm not interested. I'm interested in somebody that has experience and has a soul and can hold conversations and make me laugh. It's all about that. If you surround yourself with positivity, it makes it easier to recognize and avoid the negativity. Correct. Kirsten Miller, Jay, you are so smart and your family is blessed. Well, thank you. I hope to meet some of you all one day. That'll be awesome. We can all meet up at Universal Studios. All right. This lady, I'm going to read you Heidi Cox. She writes to Judge Thompson and she says, I hope this letter finds you well. I'm writing to respectfully request your consideration in sentencing Wade Wilson to life without parole rather than the death penalty. As someone who cares unconditionally for Wade, I have deeply reflected on the gravity of the situation and the impact of your decision. While I understand the severity of the crime committed, I believe that a life sentence would allow Wade the opportunity to reflect, repent, and contribute positively within the confines of prison. Furthermore, a life sentence would provide his family, along with myself, the chance to maintain a relationship with Wade. It would allow us to visit, correspond, and continue to offer emotional support, a privilege that would be lost without the death penalty. I implore you to consider the broader implications of your decision on both Wade's life and our family's well-being. Choosing life without parole would not only uphold the justice, but also preserve our humanity in a difficult time. We are committed to supporting Wade through this journey of atonement and rehabilitation, whatever it may lead. Thank you for considering my perspective and for your attention to this matter. I trust in your wisdom and judgment as you deliberate on this critical issue. Sincerely, Heidi Cox. Crazy Cox. I think everybody, just so you know, I think this might be the lady that was at the trial behind him. This letter's not a joke. I think this was the girl with the pink hair that was sitting there in the trial all day. There you go. The lady who wrote is Wade's guy's baby girl. Yeah, if you guys watched the trial and you saw there was a girl behind him all the time, this might be her. But I know there's lots of women that were writing to him, and yeah, I don't know exactly who it is, but somebody. I love all your comments. It's not easy, especially in the 80s and 90s, but communicating is key. Well, it wasn't easy for many reasons, and especially as times have changed. Clark says, I love you all. We can meet up and go to haunted tours. Right. You guys come to San Jose. There's the Winchester Mystery House as well. Blessed to be loved. I met the son of a good friend, 85-year-old from a spinning club. He's aw, so sweet. It should say Jay, but it says Jill. You're gorgeous and do not look your age. Hot mess of keenness. Well, thank you. I don't know what age I look, but I appreciate that. I voted Universal Studios. Yes, Universal Studios. Melly said she'd go too, but it has to be the Universal Studios in California, because that's where we go. It's Universal in California, and we go in October when it's nice and cool. Joker has his Harley. What a love story. Yeah, I don't think that Wade has any remorse either, and all the time isn't going to change. He's still behind the scenes telling people what bad he's done and bragging about it. So, Jay, you look my age. I'm almost 34. Well, I haven't got to see you, JoJo. I'd love to see all of you. Techford said she was very strange during recess, kind of mumbling to herself. Yeah. Carrie says, guilty of crime. No, girl. No. Girl with pink hair. I went to high school with the letter. Oh, it's not from her. Well, then there you go. Point had. And I was waiting for you to say something. So that's even worse. The girl with the pink hair you went to high school with was there for him the whole time. And yet he has another woman trying to do that. So that's amazing. Jay, you have good genes like me. No one believes I'm 52. Right. No one. Yeah. People don't think that I'm that age either. And JoJo, I don't know what Jay. Yeah. 34. Are you really 34? All right, y'all. I love each and every single one of you. And you guys are amazing. Thank you, all the mods, for being here. Thank you, Carly. Thank you, Bree. Thank you, JoJo. Thank you, Petty. And thank you, Wolfpack. I got to always remember. Carrie, I'm dying now. The pink hair girl. Yeah, he has a girlfriend, but he has other girls vouching for him. Kirsten Miller says, I'm 55. Y'all are babies.
Can I just say something really quick?
Yeah, sure.
I just got a message back from Kelly. So she sent me all of her information for PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, and she's also going to send me some photos of her with Wade, so we can post those on a community post. And if you're willing to share her Cash App, Venmo, and PayPal, she is accepting donations for legal funds and for counseling.
Absolutely. Send it over and I'll post it on the community page.
Sounds good. Just wanted to let you know.
Thank you. We will try to get together too if she wants more of a platform. I know she's got some things going on, but all of it helps and people will replay it, etc. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I'll
let her know. But yeah, send it on over. And Mom, you're way older than all of us. I see you there. And that's because you're my mom. You have to be way older, but you don't look way older. And I love you. And you're beautiful. And thanks for the good genetics. You see the picture? I'm looking sideways, folks. Look at my mom on this side. Wait, that way. We actually look a lot alike. So, everybody, I'm going to say goodnight. I'm going to see you tomorrow. Bree Michello is going to be on the show. We're going to talk about little Corey Michello, what's been going on as we wait for sentencing. And I did read an article that Christopher Greger is only facing up to 30 years. I think he's like 34 or something like that, which sucks because that means that, and good night, Adam. That means he's only going to be like 60 when he gets out. Thank you, Kirsten Miller. Yes, I got my looks from my mom, actually. So thank you. My mom is beautiful. I love her. Best mom ever. Couldn't ask for a better mom. Y'all have a good night. Stay out of trouble. Be back tomorrow. And I don't have anything else. Just come back and share this video. Hit that like button, everybody. And if you haven't subscribed, don't forget to. All that stuff. See you tomorrow. Good night.
Guilty of crime.
I want to thank you for watching. If you enjoyed my content, please share this video, like, and subscribe. You can also follow me over at Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, or Gmail. If you'd like to donate to my channel, you can use Cash App or Venmo or PayPal. Thank you very much in advance. Guilty of crime.
Are you guilty of crime?